Hey, welcome everybody.
Series E Apex Legends.
All of World's Edge explodes into chaos, and G2 around the corner, taking what is rightfully theirs.
War with our Ash player, Musin follows, and it's going to quickly switch to the Peacekeeper, putting down damage quick as
that Fury starts it off with the devotion and does so much work. May have single-handedly clutched it for Vizio, and with the last shotgun shot, does it.
Let's get the games underway, man. I'm ready to go.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Happy Tuesday as we kick off another week here of Series E action. But things a little different this time around. As many of you may know, the championships for the ALGS are coming up this week. They actually start this Thursday and run all the way through Sunday. So it is actually an off week here for Series E Apex Legends as well as Halo Infinite due to the 4th of July. But we still wanted to bring you guys some awesome content this week and do something new here today. So we are doing something a little different. We're going to be looking back at some of the greatest games of all time in Series E history. We've got 6 games lined up for you all here today that we're going to take a look back at. And I'm certainly looking forward to a nice little trip down memory lane here with all of you. So I hope you guys are excited for all of that. Do want to say to everybody traveling out to Raleigh, whether you were a spectator or a player, part of the staff of these teams, we wish you all safe travels. Enjoy the event. Best of luck to all of the teams, especially the myriad of former Series E talent that will be competing this week. And we're excited for all of you, and we wish you the best of luck. And we'll certainly be watching from here in Southern California and enjoying the show as much as you all will as well. But let's turn our focus, though, to what we're going to do here tonight. As I mentioned, we have 6 historic games lined up here from a bunch of different players and teams all across Series E history. Of course, I have certainly been around since the start of Season 2, and it's super cool to get to look back at a lot of these games that so many of us have watched and look back at the talent that has come through the Series E system. And, of course, so many have gone on to join teams like TSM, Optic, Elevate, and more, and we look forward to more players getting that opportunity and doing the same here in the future. But today, we could take a look back into the past to see maybe some of these players and how they got to where they are today. So let's kick it off with our first game of the day. A good look at a very old team here, but a historic squad. It's Team Razor, and let's see some of what they got done very long ago here in Series E. Let's check it out.
There's the tunnel, and lock the tunnel down if it's going to go over towards Survey. If that's the case in terms of it going over towards the Skyhook side, they can pick whatever building they want. If it goes over to Trials, they take the high ground. If they're forced low, sometimes they'll go and do that too. But we have some early fighting going on between Rice Krispies and AMG. Looks like this is going to be over towards the Dome, and Bird are going to go and hit him with that finisher there and get his armor back up and show that these guys should not be landing over Dome and contesting our winners from last week.
This is going to be important. Without the scrims going on in North America, without all the teams being really involved, this is where you need to establish your drop spot. Before we go into the qualifiers for this weekend for ALGS, you need to make sure that you're not getting contested. And so if you're going to do it, this is where you fight for it during the weeklies before the main event. And so right now, Rice Krispies already off to a great start, getting that 1 kill onto an AMG member. And so we'll see if they continue to contest. But, you know, with 8 games to go, I feel like we generally see them continue to do so. Naughty has gone down and was burned down. Don't know exactly what happened in this fight, but it's Team Rez currently over here at Lava Fissure. 2 of them stacked up on top of a car as Munsgod is trying to heal up, and then they'll try to push in with the scan that he's going to have available on this Bloodhound.
Exactly, just waiting for the scan. It popped back up exactly as he was hitting the syringes. That's going to be gentrifying, filling in there on Naughty and Mazer's team. So a little Solifide action coming through, and it was Naughty who burned. So they were over towards this side of the map. They're going to have to go and drop down and recover that. It's going to be a pretty bad situation for whatever teammate does do that. So it has to be the Wraith so they can get out of that situation. Maybe while that's happening, Zach is going to try to hold these teams off, but it's good for them that the other player didn't have armor, the other Bloodhound, and that's exactly what happens. The Wraith drops down, Gentrifying picks that one up, and is going to try to get back up top immediately. They're probably just going to try to reset here, figure out where they could get Naughty some loot, because a lot of this has already been taken. As we look at the zone, pulling over towards the Fragment side. Could go on either side of Fragment, but most likely on the east side, as it's going to continue to pull over towards that way. But take a look at 2 Brains, 1 Controller. They always pick the zones fairly well, so let's see what they're going to be able to do. They have to deal with a team rotating out of train side, making their way over towards the choke. About 30 seconds into the rotation, which is perfect timing, and now the pings go down over towards the Fragment side. You saw on the map, too, only 3 or 4 teams over towards Fragment, so they have plenty of options here, and they have a really good team of competition to go and run this, especially since Bowser has busted out the Watson.
Yeah, and Bowser was tagged by teams over at Fragment right now, getting a little bit dicey here, dropped down to about 30 HP, but he will survive. Unfortunately, though, this is a lot of economy that's being eaten into. Bowser has already consumed 2 of his batteries along with that med kit. And with this kind of rotation timing, you can't imagine that they were able to spend that much time crafting as well. And so hopefully they can recover. Luckily, of course, he is on that Watson. That is the utility specialist who allows you to really conserve upon your meds once you are in a position to throw down her ultimate.
Yeah, Nox like, oh, is it worth going in here to grab these 2 cells because my team's rotating without me? But he's going to go and make the moves. We take a look at what Team Razor is doing, and they're fairly split over here. Just getting some armors for their boy over there, Sarah Tricky, possibly gonna go and try to craft that one up. But looking at the Disciples right now, inside train area, and this is tough because I don't think teams want to fight in this spot. Train's one of the more difficult areas to go and make a play at, but it looks like they're making some serious moves. You have a portal play going on, you have a couple of zip lines being hit. Jess is super weak though, so Angela's going to come back and try to help him right there with the player over towards the corner. That's a difficult situation. That player's full shields. That's going to be stomps, and now you know this is a pretty solid team that you're going up against. But I love that spray coming in for Vinny. He's really the only hope right now, and now you have another team in the vicinity, so there's at least 3 teams over towards the train side.
Yeah, Zach is dropped down low. He's already used his bubble as well. He can step in for that finish on it if he wants to, but he'll just go ahead and pop it without that help. And Naughty has gone down once again. He was res back into the game to go down once again. So he's 2 KP across this lobby so far, and they use the res here. We'll see if they can maybe make a rotation around. They could pick up mobile respawn beacons as well. So there are plenty of options still available for them. And being able to just thwart the rest of this push, they're going to be able to, they should be able to get them back into this, as a lot of teams are now focusing on getting into the center zone for that fragment ending.
Yeah, unfortunately no res beacon there, and now they're going to have to go and figure out exactly what they're doing in terms of playing the edge. But a team that is on the edge right now is Nestle Pure Life, in a very interesting spot to be sitting inside of a building right now on this rotation when they got to get over towards Fragment. I'm not sure if they're afraid to go over towards the choke, if they've really just committed that they're going to be over here. But now Dracos makes the move. He says, everybody follow me. We got to make our way over there. And I think they'll be surprised that a lot of teams still haven't gone over towards that area. A lot of teams are playing edge. A lot of teams are slow to rotate right now. One of those teams is also Pringles, who's playing the opposite side of the choke. So if teams go and collapse on this, this is a very popular third-party spot. Casellas takes a lot of damage. They're going to have to back off here. But the thing is they're not playing Watson, so they're definitely going to be wanting to take these edge fights. Looks like they were possibly getting into engagement with Rockstar.
Yeah, Rockstar was able to bubble up offensively, but now they just have to reset here as Matt Pickett is forced to pop that battery as well. That does mean they have pushed them away for the most part from this position. Pringle's going for another peek, though, as it's a wide peek coming out from Stink. Going to use that bubble of his own. Nades coming on in, backs away and trades position with Casellas, who's going to hold the front line for his team. Gets one more sell-off before going for that peek, but a lot of cooldowns have been utilized here, and Rockstar should have their bubble very shortly as well if they want to continue to get aggressive. As you can see, Casellas taking a lot of damage, but Rockstar don't want to give out the game quite yet, and they're going to play this a little bit more conservatively and just play the choke for now, watching their back to see if any more rotations come in behind them. Looks like Casellas did go down, though. Applejack's Lion was able to get that from long range with the charge rifle. We'll see if Rockstar want to try and capitalize off of that.
That was a very solid portal from Hundreds coming through and kind of saving his team, realizing that the third party was going to come. Unfortunately, it was coming exactly where that side was going to be. Like you said, Lion just waiting there with the charge rifle. So if Pringles can recover, that's going to be a great job by them. Not challenging Rockstar, I feel like, is the right decision right there. As you take a look at what Cheez-It's doing on the epicenter side of the map. Fairly split, but Amaze is within a decent grapple distance of his boys. Now the Hemlock all the way across the map just to push that player away from them as they figure out which way they're going to try to rotate from. And now we're back and seeing what Pringles is doing. That's most likely Applejacks following up on what they started, but that's going to be Chris Blancy's actually a completely separate team. Bobby Diego coming through. 2 knocks on the Pringles. It's up to Hundreds, who left the good portal. Going up against the Bloodhound, he's going to be able to finish that one off. Nice job by Hundreds. Question is do they have enough time to reset here? Did Team Rockstar come back down to try to figure out what's going on? And that's exactly what they're doing.
Going straight for the port on in. They're only going to be able to get the res onto 1, but he's taking his time right now is Crummy. As he probably heard the end of that res, and he didn't know exactly how many were brought up here. And so the Brawler bubble will be used there, give him the fast heals. And this is just buying more and more time for Team Pringles. And Nade comes out onto the door, and Rockstar have missed their opportunity.
Yeah, not only that, nobody went there with him. It wasn't Rakinishu. Pickett didn't stay by himself. So it was more Crummy trying to figure out if there was one player down or 2 player down. And he decides that because it was just only 1 player down and the bubble's there, he saw the armor swaps coming through. He decided he's going to back off, but now they fall back right into another fight right there. Crummy's going to get the knock on to Exile. That's initial damage coming through and a big advantage. There's the counter bubble too from Rakinishu as he hits his battery, and this is a great job by Team Rockstar coming back through and resetting. However, there's another defensive bombardment coming through, just ripping the team. So I think that was a death one that was thrown down throughout all of that. Meanwhile, Rice Krispies is going to push through and clear out this building.
Yeah, they're going for Pringles here, as we did see, I believe, one of them did bleed out. So it's going to be a full 2v3, but making this entry can be difficult here, as Bird is getting ready with that bubble. Allows them entry into the building without taking extra fire now. Good spray, hits for the purple now, as they're continuing to slowly choke out Pringles. Pringles are going to be forced to bubble themselves, as Stink hits a nice 84, but he will ultimately fall down, and it's all in the hands of Hundreds, who will die, and it's going to be Rice Krispies who ultimately get these kill points for themselves, put themselves into top 15 as well. Still playing over here by No Name. And this can be interesting because they do have the beacon right above them as well. So they can go for the bubble beacon, get that information for themselves going into the late game.
Yeah, this is a great situation. There's so many resources that they could go and trade. Everybody's going to have their ideal setup here. R301 Mastiff for Gibraltar just pops off. Bird's going to know exactly what he needs to do with that one. But you're right, Jamerson. They can sit here and just milk this beacon and find out exactly which building they want to go and take. And if they want to split a building, that's going to be okay too. But they can't be opposed to playing on the edge if they wanted to. They have the most options right now, and picking up KP and resources on the way is going to be great. And now we're looking at another team that's rotating through Epicenter, kind of doing what Cheez-Its did. And that means that they're really slow on the rotation because they're going to have to deal with these guys as they make their way uphill. And the only reason they're running down here is because they're being forced down. And look, that's the team that's chasing them. It's Team Razor.
Yeah, Team Razor, they were able to get trials. They got the gold armor off of that. They've also got the 2 purples on Zara, Tricky, and Mercy only. Their team fighting is absolutely strong right now. Mercy only rocking that Volt with a 2x along with the Eva 8. And so he can dish out a lot of damage real quick. Scan out onto the high ground. They spot out the Watson, and now they're going to push forward with that Beast of the Hunt. They'll have additional scans in a couple more seconds, forcing out that Gibraltar bubble. And you can see Zara, Tricky, and Mr. Hackula are going to push right up off of it as well, as it looks like there might be already a knock on the other side. As the thirst does come out, that's going to be Team Intel losing Hill. Now the cheers is the rest of the team. Mr. Hackula with that massive doing so much damage, and Team Intel just crumble in front of Team Razor.
Nasty aggressive play there from Team Razor. They realize it's Team Intel, which is another very solid team in this lobby, so they send it on to him. Now Team Rice Krispies is getting involved. You see that defensive bombardment, that's going to be grappled right over there, so he's going to continue to send on this one. But Stunny gets stunned by that one, and he's going to be caught right in the middle of this. That bubble comes in way too late for Bird. Now he's maybe trying to bait him through, and then they're going to go and hit the battery late. But that is Team Rockstar with Pickett getting knocked through. That's going to be a nice bubble coming through, but it's a 2 versus 3. Razor finds themselves in another fight, 2 over towards the side on Epicenter. They're going to be able to get a couple kills too. So right now, Rice Krispies and Team Razor really starting to heat up.
And it's looking more like a kill race tournament at this point. Everyone's just in the same lobby, though. RK taking 2 team fights in a row, along with Team Razor at this point. Zone still closing in, and both squads have the opportunity to go for the beacons, but right now, the priority is on getting these early kill points. We're already down to 12 squads left, and Zara, Tricky, Mercy, and Hackula have at least 7 kills. We'd like to swap off to the third person there, but we saw one of the players on Team Razor, currently kill leader, with 6 frags.
Yeah, they're fragging out right now. I feel like it's going to come down to them and Rice Krispies, and this is what stinks if you're one of these teams in the middle, like, for example, Team Applejacks, where you've set up, you've done the right thing, you got your Watson in the middle, everything's looking good, you've predicted the circle over towards the Fragment East side, which it most likely is going to continue to go towards, but nobody has the cojones to go in on these fights over towards the side of the buildings because they know exactly what's going to happen, is there's going to be multiple teams that collapse on that, portal plays coming through, and you basically are just hoping and praying that other teams start to come in and filter in here so you can pick up some kills on the edge. Meanwhile, you have to deal with grenades and other people just trying to grief you over towards the side, charging up their Evo shields, etc., etc. So while it is nice getting into the middle of the zone, it's a lot to deal with, and you end up running really low on resources, and you're not directly in the middle right here for Team Pop-Tarts, so with 30 seconds left, teams are going to start sending on your building.
Yeah, it is Team ZIN pushing up with the fill-in for today, as Lion with a charge rifle actually gets the first knock onto Blight, and so getting involved at range there. But it looks like Gentrifying able to pick off Pop-Tarts' FFN, and that will be the final word for them here, as Razor have already lost one here, getting shot up from behind, but a good 180 and spray down from Mercy only will secure this team fight, taking out Team Vouch, and now we are down to 10 squads remaining, and Razor have about 10 KP, I believe, under their belts.
Yeah, what's the bottom right of your screen stage, Emerson? Mine says Razor Week. I don't know about you, so I think Razor Week got the memo. They're ready to go here, and it's impressive to see. This is exactly how they play. They're one of the best team fighting teams that we have in Apex, not just in Series Z, all of the ALGS. They really proved it. They've gotten top 4 before, and now they're really starting to put that together and having a confident game here to start. But now Applejacks and Clane going to set a portal without full shield, so a pretty risky play here for Clane, probably just to try to get information. Look at those shots from Sung across the map with the scout, forcing the Gibraltar bubble, and they also have the scan for us, so now we see which buildings are in, which buildings are out. Rice Krispies could play the edge, and as long as they clear their back, they can hold that rock and not be forced to actually stay inside of a building.
And for Applejacks, it's important there, as you can see, that the ring, it just does encompass the train station as well in Frag East. And so they have the idea to try and take over that building to play for the next zone. It's Rice Krispies, though, who have been playing here on the southeast side of the map, just been playing edge, finding kills left and right. Good damage coming out from Sung across the ways with that G7 scout. He is starting to run a little bit low on ammo. We'll see if they've got anything to swap off on, or what his Volt situation looks like as well. Looks like they're just going to try and go for a port play to get inside of one of these buildings. We do see a Watson trap already set up on one, as Applejacks now trying to make a push on to the diner building. They have to be careful. They already dropped low.
I don't think he was actually pushing a building. He just really wanted that package because they could play that hill. This is going to get really, really sweaty inside that area, just like what Applejacks is dealing with his Nestle Pure Life, and Bambino charges immediately, and you see that finish onto Kenny. That's going to be an immediate armor swap too, but Zach Mazer going to get a knock rate on the 2 brains, 1 controller, so Tech going to have to get rezzed or he's going to be eliminated here fairly soon. And now MPL with 50 seconds left has to make their way to one of these buildings. You see all the teams playing on the outside. We know there's at least 2 or 3 teams on the edge, and we know every single one of those buildings is going to be occupied. So they're going to have to either clear out one of these teams or potentially share one of these buildings here. Maybe that wall is what they're pinging.
They do have that free scan, and there it is, allowing them information about what is free and what other targets they need to worry about. There was a full team to their north as Bambino gets that knock and then should be able to get the thirst eventually. Well, that's a purple knockdown shield onto Clean. Protectful will go ahead and give him the assist on that one to finish him off. So Team Applejack's now down 1 here as we are down to the top 9 squads, 25 players remaining. So one other team might be down to a duo currently here. Nestle Pure Life now making the rotation fairly free because of the fences that they can work with, the walls right here. And they can play underneath the train tracks, but it's going to be a little bit dangerous. They might have a small pocket just over here to work with.
Yeah, and it's good that Ronnie didn't have to use his portal. I'm not even sure if it was up during that case, but you'd want to save that for the next zone. And instead of playing the little wall in front of them, they're going to elect to go wide right, play the train tracks, take this fight over towards the side, and see what's up. But they do have that fallback area if they want to go back over towards there, and that's going to be BPL that they're dealing with. So both of these teams are going to be playing this outside edge. The defensive bombardment from Dracos is going to hit hard. Protectful gets a knock onto Mazer. Now Mo Chances is taking tons of damage. Impulse is going to help on that one too. So now Naughty, Zach, and Tech on the ropes for their team, and then BPL stuck over here in this corner. So that's a great rotation coming in from NPL. Smart play. I thought they were going to play the fence. They end up going over to the right, having a nice offensive bombardment coming through. And now you can see what Dracos and Bambino's plans are. They're just going to hold this rock for quite some time and see what's in front of them. They know that's just a duo squad in front of them over towards the right-hand side. Eventually they'll clear them out and just hug their wall, hug their back towards the wall and be back towards where this zone's going to be.
Yeah, they'll have a scan in just another second. There we go, and they spot out the duo in front of them. They'll climb on up, but instead they can take their time. This ring does pull away to them to the northeast as they do get scanned one more time here. And now NPL are looking to make the move. Dracos drops down first, and he'll get taken out, but there it is, the quick cleanup and the quick res coming out from Bambino to get him back up, and just in time, as 40 seconds before the ring starts closing, the bubble will allow Dracos to reset immediately.
Yeah, Nestle Pure Life's doing the right thing here. They just need to take their time. Again, action's going to unfold in front of them, so as long as they just continue to clear out this area, they're going to be okay. So I'd like to see them just possibly make a portal play here for Ronnie at the last second, probably about 10 to 15 seconds left is when you can go and make your play, and then that's also going to give you enough time to decide if you can come back, but they haven't done it yet. So now if they do make a portal, everybody has to go through no matter what, and the bubble has to come through.
They're going to pop the Beast of the Hunt here, and here is the portal now out. That's going to be, of course, 6 seconds of vision, or 4 seconds of vision every 6 seconds. That they'll be able to pop that one in. MPL, go ahead and port right into this building here. As there are Watson traps set up on top. It's Team Rice Krispies on top of this building, and they've got a lot of vision, on top of the train tracks to work with. And so right now, early bubble, as they were afraid of the defensive bombardment coming down, but is not on top of them. Good shots with that Volt at a distance. Bird gets the knock onto Protectful, and it's just Team Rice Krispies with the completely unchallenged side of the zone because, well, they got rid of all the challengers there. So they're doing a good job of controlling it now. They could walk in for the next zone as well, Tom.
This is a great job by Rice Krispies, and Bird's spray and control right now with this Volt across the map is just absolutely ridiculous. They could be the last team to go and drop down here. Unfortunately for them, a little bit of this edge doesn't have any head glitches or anything like that, so they're going to have to figure out exactly how they want to go approach this one. But expect a good bubble from Bird. Is Razor's still involved in this one too? They're going to finish 2 brains, 1 controller off. So Rice Krispie and Razor, as predicted, are going to be going toe-to-toe here with tons of kills.
Razor have to have like 15, 16 kill points at this point. They've been taking team fight after team fight. This is not the same Razor that we saw playing, of course, just for center zone time and again. They are being very aggressive here in the early and in the mid game, and they're picking up KPs, being awarded that. It's Team Cheez, though, that are just behind them now, as again, all the teams will be rushing in. NPL will lose Bambino throughout all of that. Razor picking up another kill point there, as Mercy Only's at 5, and he's not even the kill leader in this lobby. Cheez-Its, though, do answer back, taking out Hakulo, and that's just gonna slow down Team Razor a lot. They've got 10 seconds before the zone starts closing in. Mercy Only wants to try and get this finish here. Now Team Rice Krispies are looking to get involved in this as well. Bird gets the knock onto Mercy Only, and Zara Tricky will fall. So ultimately, it's going to be Rice Krispies here in the top 2 against, what is it, Team Cheez-It, the final member remaining, and Team Rice Krispies will take the win in game number 1.
Good look back at some old action from Team Razor. Of course, that was the roster that won the Season 1 championship. Mercy Only there with Zara Tricky and Hakulo. And of course, all 3 of those players have gone on to play with some great teams. Hakulo playing with Xset right now, Zara with Furia, Mercy Only with Charlotte Phoenix, then on to the Pittsburgh Knights. So ton of talent in that roster. It's seen Zara dropping 12 kills. They don't grab the win though. Rice Krispies Treats took it there, but still a 3rd place finish with Zara frying out. Of course, that's something we've seen from him for a very long time. Cool to take a nice look back there at some very early action in Series E history. We're going to go to a quick break right now, but we still have plenty more to go. One of the greatest hits down, but we have 5 more games ahead of us. So we'll be right back.
I'll be loading up, they wanna package this. Pray for peace, pacifist, I'm never old enough to give a
I'm fading!
One bad headache can crash your entire game.
Excedrin relieves headaches fast.
Excedrin, game over for headaches.
Welcome back, everybody. We're turning our eyes towards Season 2 now of Series E. Of course, that's where I finally came into the fold. Very lucky to have done so, and psyched to still be around. But of course, Season 2, a very interesting battle. Of course, we got our first looks then at now the current Team Esports arena, right? They were competing with Presley back in those days, but Phony and Fury burst onto the scene as Team Pringles back in Season 2, and there was plenty of other talent all throughout the lineup there. We saw, you know, the old Team Pop-Tarts joining Noble at the end of this season. Season 2 Intel joining Ghost. So this was a pretty stacked season on talent. Let's take a look here at some action from back in Season 2.
How do you feel it? You know, sure, you might hit someone for 100, but you're probably getting hit for 160, and you just fall down. And also, when you're grappling away, you're not really safe unless if it's a really, really good grapple with an off angle. You can get fried off that grapple. It's happened to me pretty much every time I've gone for a grapple. So, I mean, it's a very risky thing, but shout out to him. He's sticking with it. He's doing his best, and he got a dub last game. So, I mean, more power to him.
It's also going to be able to give us the scan to find out that's going to be a countdown zone. Is K-Swin going to get the knock over there? And the finisher is Wicked's going to find one onto Casellas from Team Pringles. Team Pringles not having themselves too hot of a day. The boss over here with 1,000 different zeros and 0 armor is going to pick up an empty one right there. His boy Caustic at least is going to have purple. We'll see what he's going to be able to do. Maybe chuck a couple of barrels around, be annoying like that. But you don't want to go down that fast into the game. This is not a good look over here towards this Lava City side zone. Again, countdown side, so pretty far rotation here as they're going against a pretty skilled team. This is going to be Flashpoint. It's going to be Rambo with the knock. I believe Flashpoint is sitting over towards the top of our leaderboard too. playing with Nasky as a sub. So 2 players from the EU, 1 player from the NA as Rambo's holding it down over here. And this is a pretty interesting team composition. They're going to be able to finish these guys off and clear out Lava City for themselves.
Looking for a little bit better shots of the Massive right there. Nonetheless, got the job done. The Caustic did swap from Perp to Blue. Good for him, but it wasn't enough. A 1v3, you're most likely not going to win that with all of them pushing on you like that. We see the zone on the screen right now. It is a countdown / lava fissure zone. Those could get pretty fun. I enjoy fissure circles, but again, as you were saying earlier, the trials circle, man, that has got to be the least exciting zone on the map. I mean, it's just so annoying. I mean, the height is ridiculous, and you can't really counter it too much unless if you third party, which means someone else had to counter it, which typically doesn't happen in these games where there's so much on the line. So we're getting a little bit of a mix-up like you asked for, Tom, so that's a plus.
A little bit of a mix-up, yeah. Teams that come to mind for NA holding down those zones that are extremely annoying. CLG has been up there 1,000 times. Seen Team Liquid over there. Team Razor is one of those teams that like to lock that down because they land over towards the Skyhook side. But Team Applejacks, they're on the Fragment side. Love this team composition. This has been really popular in the EMEA region. See if they're going to continue to be able to execute that one. Touche loves the Applejacks, so we'll see. I wouldn't even be opposed to mixing Applejacks with a different type of cereal. See how that one goes. Maybe, I don't know, Rice Krispies and Applejacks? I don't know. We'll see.
No, Rice Krispies, a little bit of sweetness, not too much overpowering flavor. I think, you know, the cinnamon with the sweet, it could work out. That's not a bad first draft right there from you there, Tom. I don't know, though. I think it's kind of a sin to, you know, mix such a S-tier cereal with something else like that. I'm a big Applejacks guy, if you can't tell.
Wow. All right, we'll see. Rice Krispies, they won last game. Let's see what they're going to be able to do here. Bird on the Watson. Bird has played so many different characters. It's actually kind of crazy because I feel like he's one of the strongest Gibraltars that we have, but he's mixed it up and has played about 3 or 4 different things and now is landing on Watson. So I'm curious to see if he's going to be able to continue to do well with this. Casper also coming in for Sung, who Sung was playing a lot of Caustic and was one of the original Caustics in terms of competitive. They ended up winning a couple of ALGSs ago, and they had big games on Kings Canyon. Now a different roster is Casper's going to try to do his best to fill Sung's shoes. We have a fight over towards the Lava City side. It's going to be Team Flashpoint again. Getting into another skirmish over here. I'm not sure what team this is, but it's definitely a Horizon team. That's going to be Poli and Touche. What are these teams doing charging Lava City?
I'm not sure. They're probably just looking for, I mean, it was just right after the locker room, so they might have just got himself a little too hyped and then kind of just lost the end game goal at hand and went for some early game kills. But I mean, that's a quick L, and that might settle them down real quick. I don't know. Coach might have riled them up a little bit in the locker room. They came out swinging, but they missed. So.
And that's 5 kills for Rambo. There's only 6 people that have been eliminated, as Klein actually from Applejacks is going to get knocked on a phase. But that's always a great feeling. You're just into this game, 2 minutes in, and you already have 5 kills. Great start there for Rambo. Applejacks, they're still in the skirmish over here towards the Skyhook side. A lot of fences going down. They're going to be able to shoot these two. Klein's already up there. He gets stuck. It's Kanaka with the nasty Arc Star. I'm not sure if the even Lion's going to be able to get this res. He's going to have to throw down some barrels. Kenny gets aggressive. That must mean these players are weak, as it looks like there's a third party coming through. They should hit that res if they can, and they already are. Yeah, nice job by Lion.
Yeah, great job. That was a crazy little transition right there. He got hit with a triple take for probably maybe 114 or 72, the classic, either, you know, full body shot or full headshot. And then he got stuck with the Arc Star, which does 30 damage on flesh when you stuck, and he fell over, stabbed him right in the chest, and he tripped up. But he does get the res. We're looking at a nice rock here that's very pretty, and we are seeing some craziness happening from Team Aqualix. What is this skeevery? I'm about to puke. I feel nauseous. What is going on here?
How is this even a spot? And when you see this, I would think that this would have been Nestle Pure Life and E-Boy Ronnie leading the charge, but instead, some pretty sneaky plays. Let's leave them be and let them kind of do their thing. We don't want to kind of jinx where they're at. See if we could scroll through and see what's going on with the rest of the squads, because Applejacks is getting busy. Miracle Sniper actually takes him down, but they should be able to come and get this res fairly easily. That's the fight finally coming through from Applejacks. Easy reset again. Not too far from the zone, but also not in a spot where it looks like they're getting third partied immediately. There's the scan coming through. There's the aggressive push, but this means that from the scan that I saw, these guys are a little bit split. The caustic gas coming through. Klein ate it. That's going to be dying on rotate.
And Wicked with a big beam to the gas right to the flatline. That flatline and then McKay hits a little bit different. Big spray. Does he get the knock right here? That would have been huge for them. He doesn't get it. Bloodhound is weak. And he's going to re-wrap around. Lion is stuck inside, I believe, with multiple kids. He does get pumped. They're both one shot. Going to go for an armor swap here. Doesn't get it. The Caustic gas takes him out. Lion, last one alive. Caustic, pretty typical. Does hit with a thermite right there. Not much HP or armor to work with. Actually, full armor, but he does get it tagged up a little bit. Going to take a Phoenix kit and go back to his little safe place right here with the 3 Caustic traps. And man, that was a big beam through that smoke and the Caustic gas. But I want to talk about how you were talking about Bird earlier. You said he was a very good Watson, or no, a very good Gibraltar.
Gibby.
But he's not been playing it too much, and I think that's what the devs are kind of looking for. We were kind of locked in a 3-man composition that didn't really change for about, I don't know, 2-3 seasons, with maybe one addition like Watson coming in. But now you're seeing a lot of different comps being ran. You see Cryptos, you see Caustics, you see Gibbies, you see Hounds. You see Bangalore's in tech shoes sometimes, if he wants to do that. But I like that. I like how the devs have made it to where a lot of different legends are being used in competitive play nowadays.
I really think we're just 1 or 2 more changes away from having everything be really strong. Again, it's pretty obvious who the weak characters are. Bangalore has been one of the OG characters for so long and still hasn't really gotten much love. Maybe if you kind of boost her up back to her old speed boost or just give her something a little bit more, I'd love to just have more viable characters overall. Like, everybody's so close to being very strong. Mirage, he's gotten even more love, but not enough. Lifeline's still fairly weak. Pathfinder's even been kind of taken out. So, in my opinion, if we're able to get everybody on an even playing field, yeah, of course, like, esports isn't the only thing that matters for Apex and things like that. But I think that what happens in esports is if everything's balanced, that's being played at the highest level, then it would be even balanced for casual, really, in my opinion, too. So I agree. I think that we're in a really good spot. We'll see what Rockstar is going to be able to do. They run in a team Intel. Intel gets the first knock, knocks back and forth all over the place. Pickett's eating a ton of gas over here. Does have a quick armor swap. Doesn't elect to throw the grenade right there. Instead is getting information. Goes for the Arc Star. Most likely going to get flanked any time now, so he's going to go and close this door, try to block it with his body. Ping's probably going down, medkit popping off, only a second away. The door finally opens. He's going to be pinched in between multiple players. So he's going to dip outside of the door here, try to take an ADS. This could be a 2 or maybe even 3-on-1.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Pickett with pretty much no armor. He does grab a swap right there. It is 3. I think they're dipping on Pickett right now because there might be another team coming in. They seem to be a little bit stressed out. But again, when that team pushed down on that stairwell, Caustic ulted. And again, the strength of Caustic, he's so strong. Once that initial explosion hits and you're blind for that little second or 2 window and you're getting ticked by gas and you can't move, that is the perfect opportunity for a Caustic to swing through and give out much more damage than you could put on the team that threw the Caustic ult. So Caustic pretty much won that fight right there. Pickett is probably going to scramble and run away, his little white armor Watson in the t-shirt. And he's going to be playing solo for a while because this team is not moving, and that is where the banners are. So unfortunate for that team, but it happens.
Aggressive portal over here, possibly thinking that these players were weak, but as soon as they see that's a Caustic over towards the door, wait a second, was that a... what kind of crazy play was that? I don't even know what this team is doing. Portal's all over the place over towards the side, but the way that they're setting up, this has to be a lava fissure ending, and it could be ending directly kind of where they're at. That building over there is pretty common, right directly over towards, I guess that'd be their southeast, directly behind them. And then there's the ending that's kind of right on that hill over towards their southwest, kind of where that building would be, over towards the right-hand side. Not the one they're directly looking at, but more over towards the west-hand side right here. So we'll see exactly where this one goes. Definitely not going to go over towards Countdown. Intel is really good at predicting where these zones are going to go. But Hill has switched off another Gibraltar player. It's gone over towards Caustic. And it's interesting to see if you're going to play Caustic, if you're going to play Bloodhound, Gibraltar, or Crypto. I really think that Crypto would be my ideal situation, but I guess it just depends on where you land and what you're used to. Also, you don't want to put someone on a character like Crypto that's just not comfortable playing. You might as well, if they're good at playing Bloodhound, just put them on Bloodhound. If they're good at playing Gibraltar, just put them on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's options too. Like I was saying earlier, we were locked to what? It was Path, Wraith, Gibby? Was that what it was? I mean, we were locked in that for like 2 seasons. Watson came in. And then everyone was using her because it was late game and everyone wanted fences, and Watson was pretty much locked in. But again, nowadays you got options, and if you have the talent to play different characters or make an adjustment, you're not going to be locked to this little 3 legend scenario we got going on, or we used to have going on. Now there's some versatility, and if you got the players that can play the characters, go for it.
That's why I love watching Team Liquid right now, is because they're playing Horizon. and Caustic together. And while that may not be the best for, say, you make it to the ALGS finals, that's going to be the type of composition that you need to kind of get you there, to kind of snowball these other weaker teams. If you're a team like Team Liquid, if you're that skilled at team fighting, if you're a team like TSM, a team like Solafide, there's a handful of teams that really, kind of set themselves apart. CLG, the teams that have actually won tournaments, there's a reason that they've won. They're really good at multiple facets of the game, multiple things of the game. I think Team Liquid's kind of onto something with, you need kills. You need to, not really play too passive in these other lobbies. Otherwise, you're kind of getting steamrolled from, teams that just take random fights, et cetera, et cetera. So they could be, switching up to crypto or something like that in the finals, and that could be kind of fun to see what they're doing. But dying on rotate, they're over towards the train side. They were playing pretty solid today overall. I think that I've been pretty impressed. Keep in mind, this team's only been together for, this is maybe their third event together. So they're fairly new, going up against a lot of different skilled teams. Going to push over here towards the train area. Nice massive shots, connecting for about 100, 200 damage overall with these massive. Sync only taking about 100 damage and dealing out about 300, 400.
Yeah, that's too easy for him. Sync's a really good player, and that was just, that was just clean. He's been there before so many times. It's just he's playing his peaks. He has a Mastiff. They push them. It's easy. He's playing his little left shoulder strafe, right shoulder strafe, and some clean 2 pumps. It was simple. He didn't take too much damage at all. He made it look easy. And yeah, that was a clean 2 kills right there. They're looking for the third, chasing down. I would like to see nice sliding pump right there on that kid. I would like to see what our rat team is up to. Have they elected to move around? Have they gotten even comfier? I know the circle's not pulling to where they wanted to. They're gonna have to rotate to Lava Fissure, but I kind of want to see what they're up to,
Probably eating some s'mores Pop-Tarts or something like that, making some s'mores in the back. Got a little fire going on over there, nice and comfy. Qualix busting out the Beast of the Hunt, which means they're getting pushed over here. Is this going to be Rice Krispie treats? Problem when you throw these thermites, that means you can't push that door. It's always difficult to be put in that situation. Also takes a little bit of damage, so he's going to have to go and heal. But that's a great counter grenade coming in from, I believe, Bird. The push coming in from the side. That's going to be Kubsky going down. I believe that's Pop-Tarts. A couple players getting clapped very easily there by Rice Krispies, who I believe one was that game number 3, so they're not too far behind on this leaderboard, sitting on our top-hand side. Nice job by them. Good infiltration of the building. Yeah, that was a clean 2v3. I believe they got a scan earlier, and they saw it was only 2 people, and they just picked them apart. You saw a thermite go in there and tag both of them, and that was a sign. You saw the back door swing by 2 of them, while Bird sat on the front door and did a lot of damage as well, and that was clean. That's what you want to see. No one went down. No one got third party. We see a nice beam coming from Zero Tricky with the R301 3 times. Not missing a bullet on tech as he's trying to get out and gets absolutely lasered. Going for the thirst right there. Definitely going to get it. Zero Tricky showing some talent right there. Some recoil control. Nice tracking as well. Is he playing on controller? What was that, man? That was just unfair. Nasty shots there by Zero Tricky. We know he's gonna hit those 9 times out of 10, honestly. Not sure what Tech was actually doing, if he was in a pretty bad spot. Obviously, being on the bottom of Lava Fissure is one of the worst situations ever, and sometimes that's the only situation you can to get out of it. But she's in a tough spot here. They, again, won the previous game. Now it looks like they're in a very difficult spot. That's a solid bubble there from Mass. That should allow Hambino to heal up. He's going to go with the battery instead of a Phoenix. Let's see if he does have a med kit. He does, so that's big that he doesn't have to syringe. Now they made the rotation through. Caustic Gas is going to hit. Glad that doesn't hit Hambino there, but he does get taken out from the side, strictly with a nice grapple. They're going to have to fight this 2v3. Somehow Mass going to connect throughout all that. Irid, towards the side, is going to be taking out Casper as well. So 2 different fights happening. And now that Gas is kind of helping Team Cheez It as they're trying to fight through this. But that Arc Star is going to eat Mass alive. Double Arc Stars should be going down here very shortly.
Yeah, he's in a bad spot. He does get a nice pump off on Design. Cracks the shield. Design's going to have to back up. It is a 3v1 possibly for Strictly. He's looking for the zip line. He's trying to get out of dodge right now, and he's going to do that. Nice little inverted grab. He's out. That was a good push by Team Solafide as they picked him up one at a time. Design with the Caustic ult, which caused them to back up. They had to force the Wraith to go away as she was taking a med kit. I mean, that Caustic ult is terrifying when you're low HP. It doesn't matter if you have full armor or not. If that Caustic ult lands anywhere near you, you're probably going to get killed real quick. So she had to run away, and then she got picked off while she was doing that because she didn't get the heal. So Design with a very well-timed Caustic ult and push afterwards to follow it up and win the fight.
And you could see Solafide's thought process. It's unfortunate that the zone does pull away from them, but I don't think it really matters because they should be able to create more opportunities to fight. Yeah, Designful is going to take a decent amount of damage here, but he's 32 away from charging this Evo shield up, as it looks like we have a fight between Rice Krispies as Cheez-It's hitting some reses over here. Somehow
they didn't finish him.
Hambino, what was that? How did Hambino survive throughout all that? You're right, they didn't finish him, but looks like also Rice Krispies may have been taken out. I'm not quite sure exactly if all those players are alive, but I was not expecting them to be able to get away with this one. They do have to rotate directly towards them. We'll see if they're able to kind of put some damage on Solafide from behind, but Solafide should be aware that there is still at least Strictly around. But either way, that zone did pull away from them, and it's going to go more towards that platform that we were talking about, kind of towards that house, maybe more towards where Team Intel was, but I think probably more across the river.
Yeah, I think it's going to end. There's that little house on the left side, and it's on the cliff, and it's near the truck that's parked on top of the cliff. I see a lot of circles ending there. Here comes Strictly and Hambino trying to move in with the storm, getting tagged up and focused. This is going to be hard for them. Strictly does crank the grapple. They are going to go low ground. Good phase. Good use of escape abilities by both of them right now. They are in circle, but they're not in the best spot, but they're alive nonetheless. Interesting why Solafide didn't push up and try to finish at least one, or finish Hambino off. I'm not sure, but they probably just elected to say, hey, we should probably focus rotating and see what we're doing next instead of pushing all the way through and maybe giving up our position and our backside to another team. And the circle does pull up and to the left by the truck. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
I know it's super minor, but if you're battling, say, Flashpoint for first place, that's kind of a 2-point swing right there where you don't get a point, and then Flashpoint is going to go and pick that up. I believe that was Nasky. We'll see if they're going to be able to pull off anything crazy again, but love the positioning here from Designful. Again, being aware of both sides, using this little crate to his advantage. I think this is the spot that they're going to have to pick, though. He does have that gas grenade. If he wants to go and use it, they could potentially send it. I'm not sure if Gentrifying could make a portal and cross there, but they're going to have to make a move to kind of push against this yellow barrel and use that as cover, because I don't see them rotating right-hand side right now.
They needed that phase, yeah, so that's good. They forced the phase. She's going to draw back, and they're going to definitely going to push that. They can hop over that gap. It's more of a climb up. It's not a clean hop, but they could definitely do it. I'm not sure if they're going to rip the portal, but the Wraith was stalling them out. You see 3 blue armor swaps and a little blue armor Walmart right here for Team Intel as they're sitting relatively pretty, but not for long at all. They are going to have to rotate out of this building. They have to go left and then try to force themselves maybe into the bottom of this house. And it's going to be tough because you know there's already teams in there. I think the team in the best spot is probably on the back side of the circle towards the north end, back over there. Yeah, there's going to be a huge war coming up on this house for positioning, and it's going to be tough. So
Gentrifying as well. Yeah, Gentrifying runs right into a gas. It's not that big of a deal, but that is going to give the position up. And a lot of barrels down towards the bottom, realizing that they can get down there. They're just going to have to wait for these to get in there. But the Caustic does show. It's going to be E-Boy Ronnie with the first initial knock. Bambino's in the vicinity too. That means that's probably going to be Bambino's gas grenades that are going to be thrown all over the place. As unfortunately for Solafide, they weren't expecting that Caustic in there. That's what we talked about, the difference with the Watson. Nice pumps there, 112 there from Gentrifying. He did his Q earlier, trying to get an armor swap, but he's eating so much gas from behind. The team that was in the God spot was going to be Team Razor. They recognized with that scan just how much action did happen. There's a good amount of players that should be weak over towards the top hand side, but the rest of the players aren't going to push. It's just going to be Hakulo and Zeratricky as Muffin's anchors from the backhand side if they're going to need the bubble to come through. But now Muffin's most likely making the call. Let's back off from this one. We don't want to overextend. Let's try to figure out where the rest of these players are and reset. So a little bit of a missed opportunity there for Razor, but they still do hold the best spot.
Yeah, there's a team in the house to the left, I believe. 2 teams in the house to the right. Team Razor holding the high ground in the open field. And I believe there's probably, oh, there's a kid out of position right there. 117th round Caustic, but he gets traded a lot more damage. Zeratricky one shot. If anyone peeks on him, he's going to die. Mr. Hakulo taking out K Swinney, but if anyone on the house across shoots Zeratricky right now, it's going to spell danger for this team. They get 2 knocks, I believe. No, Hakulo goes down, so it's a trade right there. Zeratricky going to crank a Phoenix Kid. I believe there's probably one team still in the lava down low, maybe playing a safe zone that's like maybe on a rock. They're going to try to pop this res here. Do they have gold bag? Not sure. Circle is going to come in, but it is slow. Gold bag res going off right now. No one pushing inside the bubble, so they might get a fresh reset here.
I'm shocked that Zeratricky wasn't scanning a little bit earlier. Also that he didn't scan as he was approaching the building so they could figure out that K-Spin was hiding over there in the corner. As NPL looks like they're fairly healthy, making the rotation in. Intel Saw them locking down the donut a little bit earlier. Some good shots there from Hill. Is going to have to hit some health meds here very shortly as this zone is starting to close through. Just 1 or 2 ticks and he's going to be down. The door is going to be shut very shortly. There is the med kit coming through. Nice job shooting that from Tempest to try to get his boy outside the door, but they get finished off very quickly. Muffins gets the finish. That's going to be Nestle Pure Life involved too. We're going to have a 3-team fight. Good grenade there from Hakulo. They're going to start to push up, take over this high ground. This is the ledge where we were talking about the zone was going to end. Great job by Muffins there. Double PK shots coming through. One more squad, most likely sitting down below. Just like it was an easy pub here for Team Razor, locking it down. 17 players watching Muffins. There's no way to get up top there unless you're a Pathfinder. GG, Team Razor taking it.
Another good look back at the old Team Razor, and they look strong there once again. Not able to grab a win, but still looking really, really good there. And of course, again, I can't really say it enough. Talked about it after the first game that all 3 of those original players went on to do really great things, still staples in the competitive scene in North American Apex Legends, and it's so to see them, competing at the highest level. Of course, we'll see Zera at the ALGS Championships this weekend, and plenty more from all of those players there. So love looking back at these old squads, and especially when you talk about Team Razor in Series E, you can't talk about them without mentioning Hakulo, Zeratricky. They competed for Team Razor for 3 whole seasons. They defined that team. They set the bar in Series E, and they are staples of the circuit here, and we certainly wish them the best of luck as they continue their competitive careers, and we certainly love to see them every time they come back here to compete, whether it's an open or pro night. So best of luck to those 2 gents, and looking forward to more from them. We're going to go to a break right now. When we come back, though, we'll be taking a look at some Season 2 Intel action, so don't go far. We'll return in a bit.
When the chicken is this crispy and this tasty, it doesn't matter what else is for dinner. Tyson Crispy Strips are so delicious, they'll be your favorite part of every meal. More crispy chicken, more family faves, more to love. Tyson.
We got a nice look at the old Team Razor through those first 2 classic games, and now we jump right into the meat here of Season 2. We're going to take a look at Team Intel. Of course, this is the squad that went on to get signed by Ghost Gaming at the end of Season number 2, and Panders specifically had a big performance in this game here, so let's jump right in to the fun.
Now, as we head into World's Edge, it's going to be 6 matches here, and it looks like we do have the drop coming out from Team Intel, and they might be getting challenged over by Thermal Station. So we want to keep an eye on that so far. I saw Metro over there, and it looks like another team might be showing up, and Team Intel on their 50-50s over by Thermal have been fairly consistent.
Starting things off with Pringles, though, right now. It does seem like Panders is going to get into a little bit of scuffle over towards the side, so they do have some sort of contesting happening, and you see Pop-Tarts is over towards Geyser, and they're going to be finding some fights as well. But yeah, you're right, Team Intel is going to get tested on the Thermal Station side, and it looks like Team Intel's a little bit on the ropes right now. They do have 2 knocks right there on the Night Sea. Panders is healing up, so that's huge, but he's going to get down, and now it's only up to Metro here. Spitfire Sentinel, not ideal for this type of situation, is currently silenced, so this team's going absolutely crazy because they're playing some sort of Revenant composition, most likely with Octane. And what's the play here for Metro? Looks like he's running around, no scan going to be coming through, and he's just going to be hitting this res over towards the side while the door is going to be blocked. So good job getting one of his teammates back in, and also baiting over towards the side. That's going to be a Gibby with a fairly healthy shield, And Panders is hitting a cell as well. Team Intel trying to deal with this one Gibraltar, and it's going to be a 2-on-1 situation.
Yeah, this is scary. They have 50 HP amongst two of them right now. They're going to go in for the peek. Hits for the 51 with that bow check bow. They can go for the 2-for-1 peek if they want, but it looks like Panders will get the flank and clutches up for the squad. Team Intel will survive this 50-50, but they need to get moving quickly. Teams could be on the rotate right now. It's a minute and 47 seconds left. As it looks like Team Cheez-It might have gotten involved in a fight as well, but this one's looking much easier for them now as they continue to push forward. Joey Blackout already throwing down that scan over here, and he does spot out a Pathfinder just kind of lazing about. And that's going to be an easy kill for them as they pick up the 3 points there. Team Cheez-It will also give us a slight glimpse of what the ring is looking like. It does seem to be pulling down to the south here, could be going over towards Sorting Factory. We've had a lot of action. Don't know if anyone's been able to pick up the banner for us, or excuse me, the beacon for us quite yet. And there it is. We do have confirmation. It is coming down to Sorting Factory, most likely launch site. And Team Cheez-It would love to have been moving already for this zone, but being contested will slow them down. It does look like another team from Dome have made their way on over, while Team Pringles have positioning over one of the hotly contested spots here at launch site.
Oh, I'm gonna miss
so
there.
far though. Team Pringles are just gonna hold it here.
Yeah, I mean the longbow is that's why people really don't use the longbow in these type of situations. If he had the scout there, I highly doubt he's gonna even miss a shot. Those were very easily lined up shots there as Team Pop-Tarts finds themselves in a fight over towards No Name. We actually see Team Pop-Tarts fight here fairly often, but this is third-party central right now, being in the middle of the map. Teams do have to rotate over down towards the south, but Lucas takes an off angle, and that's something that you want to kind of cue towards, but they feel like they have the advantage in this fight, and they wanted to go and push that, so that's why Lucas is going to go advance. But everybody doing a good job of taking angles when they need to. Malice comes through with the R9 and gets a knock, so we'll see what the recovery is going to be here for Team Pop-Tarts. It could be a bail. This fight's been lasting for quite some time now, and that's what it seems to be. I mean, Impulse probably wants to pop his Beast of the Hunt while he has the opportunity to, but it just doesn't seem to be the case, as we do have Team Rockstar getting busy over here as well with the third party, and this is what we were anticipating. So I do like the opportunity for Team Pop-Tarts to potentially get back into this one. You can see them on the outskirts trying to play on the player outlines, knowing that there's going to be more players coming around, and you can see the flank coming through. Lucas just comes in with the finish right there onto the Gibby, and they're trying to get back into this one.
Yeah, they saw the knock at least on the other side for Rockstar, bringing this down to a 2v2. Always Senpai trying to play from below, but he's getting full on pushed right now as the first knock comes out. Trinal going down, and we'll see if Impulse can finish this one off. He trades. Lucas needs to show up here. It's down to the 1v1 as he needs to try and push this Gibraltar here. Do not give him any time to heal up. The dome is down as well, and without a scan, it's going to be difficult for Lucas here to just try and push in. Does get a bat at the very least, and we'll be able to heal that one up, but there's so much time being spent here on this fight. Gets through the arm shield, hits for Flash, now pulls out that wingman to try and finish him off. Hits for the 38, and oh no, Lucas is down to one shot here. The arm shield up once again for that Gibraltar as Lucas is trying his best to play around the timing, and he gets the win, but the third party is here. Nestle Splash show up to finish that one off.
Dude, how long does it take for Gibraltar's shield to come back? That thing was like instantly. Lucas is over here putting in all these shots. The Gibraltar just doesn't die. You're hitting for 21 on the wingman. I mean, Gibraltar's just so strong in these situations that's even crazy that Lucas is able to win that one. But good job by Nestle Splash, and we knew that fight was going to take a very long time, that there was going to be three or four parties that are going to be involved, and the teams that are playing the Edge are going to love what they see right now. About 6 or 7 death boxes to work with for Nestle Splash, and they're going to have any type of loot that they want leaving here, and it's nice to see them all together as 3 collapsing on a fight, because every time that they're in fights, I feel like they've been one of the teams that are constantly getting third-partied. So it seems like they're taking their time, they're looting up, and coming in at the right time right there.
Yeah, there's a huge benefit for them, as well as it looks like they will be able to pick up the beacon while this zone will end right here on the edge. Of course, ring number 2 doesn't do too much damage, so if they want to, they could just camp around here and pick up the next ring info, which they might do. Team Pringles not move around much, as they do have this position at launch site held down. Would be joining on board with Team Intel, who are now making their way around. Of course, they're 50-50, slowing down their rotation, so they are just committing to the edge here, trying to find some squads out on the side. They already have 3 kill points. They would love to find more, and there is a team inside Harvester right now, Tom.
If I'm Intel, I kind of do like the 50-50 over towards Thermal side, because if you're able to win that every single time, you're looking at 18 points, but at the same time, like you said, it does slow down your rotation. So it depends on how fast they're going to be able to win those fights, but I like the situation right here. Having your back should be cleared towards that choke. It'd be interesting to see if anyone does a late retreat into Thermal rotation. You can see all the actions directly in front of them, so they can kind of play this how they want to. A couple different teams in the area, they're hoping that they would actually fight. But while you're doing that, you have to still check your back for any things that crazy happens over here towards the choke area. So this is a good position for Intel to be in. Unfortunately for them, I don't think any of them have a sniper rifle. Maybe 6 does, but that's what you're going to need to have some sort of pick potential here.
Well, it looks like 2 Brains, 1 Controller in a fight now, but they're going to opt out of this one, which is the power of the Valkyrie. Not just rotations, but being able to get out of a bad fight real quick. Stuck on the low ground with the Arcstars coming in, they decide to just cut off this squad and play from a better angle, making their way over towards Sorting Factory now. You can see why Team Intel were a little bit more hesitant to try and take that push, even though they saw Rez going down, but 2 Brains, 1 Controller had to catch themselves right in the middle of fire, but Tech will be able to secure a spot inside Sorting Factory, which should be safe for them to heal up and just recover here for now.
Valkyrie is just so much fun. I feel like if every legend is going to have utility like Valkyrie, or just, you know, they're going to continue to make these strong type of legends, Apex is going to get absolutely ridiculous. But this is ridiculous. The team is going to continue to push over towards 2 Brains, 1 Controller. This looks like just a 2-man Razor squad, but it looks like a third party over towards the side. So unfortunately for Razor, it doesn't seem like they have their full team. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, we've seen Serial take on 3v1s against some of the best teams, so I feel like they're still pretty confident here with their purple armor and their position that they're going to go and push in over towards this bubble. But Serial eats a lot of damage. That's about 170 over towards the side. That's going to be a battery for him. And then Hakula is going to sit there and watch. But the other team is scared. You can see player outlines that they're not necessarily scared, but more or less worried and aware of the potential of a third party coming through. So they do back off, and Team Razor is going to own this building temporarily, but is that a Watson fence? Okay, things are getting interesting.
Yeah, 2 Brains, 1 Controller playing with the Watson right now, and this is the importance of Team Razor posturing like they are a full 3. If 2 Brains, 1 Controller knew that this was just a 2-man, they would have turned around. If they played like they were a 2-man, they would have just turned around on them. But instead, Team Razor take the aggression to them and just make it seem like they're a full 3 with the confidence that they're playing with right now. And it does seem like in Banana, they might be sandwiched between 2 squads. They're going full on in. Serial on the front line. He's got the Spitfire, charges up with that stim, got the hipfire there onto the Gibraltar, but he does not do critical damage. As he slides on back, Hakulo swaps out. They get a 1-for-1 exchange though, and now Serial has to call it here as he does back up for now to hit that bat. We'll see though if he continues this fight. It looks like the Rez is already getting stuck on the other side, and Team Razor nearly got the 2v3, but Serial is going to have to play this one out as a solo.
Tough situation because Serial put on so much pressure right there, and we're going to have our first Tomcat Rat over here of the game. But I love the grenade, the thermite that he threw behind the Gibraltar, so the Gibraltar couldn't really retreat and was forced in directly towards where him and Hakulo were. Unfortunately, this is Gibraltar. He's just going to eat a ton of damage as the tank. And now Team Cheez-It, we're on board with them over towards the high ground. And we've seen this high ground choke. Nice shots coming in from Prodigy Aces, 100 damage onto the purple armor. Bubble is going to be used, and this is where Rakanishu needs to come in with the good timing. The ult's a little bit early there. The bubble still could be there, but that could be their own defensive bombardment as well, as that was actually Rakanishu's. He just tossed that one. So a little bit of visual clutter for Team Cheez-It, and that team does bail out of their positions. So unlucky there for Team Cheez-It. Again, when you get the bubble down, you want to try to capitalize on that. Ult was a little bit early and not far enough for Rakanishu, but they still do own the space, and that's kind of the point, is you want to back these teams down to even more scarier positions for them to fight out of, and you still want to watch this choke over towards the side. So that's what Rakanishu's job is. They're not anticipating anyone running up over towards the Lava City side. They know Dome's clear. They're more worried about these 2 chokes coming out of the tunnel area and directly in front of them uphill.
And for Team Cheez-It, this is an area that they are very proficient of playing out of. A number of times they've been contested and have their rotation slowed down to get into launch. And so they know how to own this area and really play off of it. And they are owning a lot of the real estate here. We do see, of course, that ring continuing to pull away from them. It will be going over to launch, but like you said, Tom, they've alleviated a lot of the pressure. They'll have more options when it comes to rotations and make it much easier because they're not running that Valkyrie. It's not going to be, you know, just take to the skies and go wherever you want. You are limited to the distance that the Octane jump pad affords you, which is still quite a bit, like 200 meters or so. But owning all this real estate allows them to just really play with less pressure. They have their first early 3 kills as well from the early 50-50. So playing for the late game is definitely what they want to do here.
Yeah, for sure. And it makes me wonder, you know, which is a stronger legend really between Valkyrie and Octane. And I guess it just depends on, you know, how good your team is with each legend and how your main Slayer is going to be with that legend as well. Obviously, we saw what Serial is able to do on Octane. We see what Prodigy Ace is able to do here on the Octane as well. But in this type of situation, I really do feel like you would kind of want to, you know, bail out and get the high ground. At the same time, you could potentially just play the edge, and I think that's what they're going to do. They're just going to kind of bully the team down low. This team is in such a horrible spot that they're continuing to use their resources, and Rakinishu should be able to take advantage of this type of situation. So it's just going to be one more check for their back for Joey Blackout, probably a scan in about 10 seconds to make sure that this is fully clear. Once they get that information, then they're going to go and continue to pursue it. I'm not quite sure if that was a player outline of a rat crouching over towards the bottom. It could have been a rat. I think I see some people hiding right there. There are. We see the scan come through.
Yeah, we're at 14 squads, so one team actually playing it out as a solo, or as a duo, I believe, as they are getting flanked right now. Rakinishu and Prodigy Aces have to be careful. They do throw down that bubble, as they do have a duo above them right now. Back away once again, set up that angle, and so this is why it was so important to try and clear out this side as much as possible. If more contests come in, it becomes dangerous. Rakinishu, though, by himself is down to 1, as Team Intel now making a push over on this side of the Lava City tunnel. 6 just narrowly missing out, 1 on the right, but Metro is there as Hakulo will be taken out by Metro, and it looks like, yeah, Team Razor went for the res, and so now they're playing it out once again as a solo. So we have another Tomcat Rat running around, but Serial gets finished off by Team Lonely Fans. 00 negative to take him out.
And there's the high ground push coming in for Panders and Team Intel. They're in such a bad spot over towards the slow ground. They're going to try to give him a little shimmy, shimmy, yaw, and bail on out. And I do like this play. You need to do this a little bit earlier, but at the same time, they were just looking for their kill opportunities too, and hopefully they can find a spot going into the zone. Ping is coming down. They're looking for which seems to be the old 2Brains1 controller spot, and a little bit of Watson coverage if you want to use it. We'll see if they elect to do so. And there's one of our open teams, 10k flat, actually taking a lot of damage. Team Content putting them down 1 by 1. Now it's up to Moon. Moon does take a really nice angle, but wow, just ripped apart over here as Team Content. It's going to be Turns and We the People coming in with the finish.
And yeah, they've got the port 2 to move along with the zone, but it's the third party coming out from Team Rice. Crispy, Stunny picking up 2 now. Turns is going to try his best to avoid a lot of this damage. He's dropped down to about 50 HP straight into another full 3-man squad. And he's about to get finished off here as GS Bird is looking to hunt him. But that presence of the third squad stops him from pushing. And they're safe to actually just hold this spot for now, pick up the loot here on the edge as well. Stunny taking a lot of damage from the ring, but he should be safe. Rice Crispy treats. Excellent timing there as Team Intel got into a big fight. They've taken out 2 so far, and so this is looking shaping up to be a very strong game for Team Intel, a team that is currently 49 points, 50 points off from securing the 4th place finish here in Season 2. So this is good signs for them.
Did Turns live is the question, because I don't know if I saw him get taken out in the kill feed, and he was 1 HP between 2 teams, so if he survived, he could be our rat of the day so far. As Team Intel, like we were talking about, Jamerson needs a big game, and they're looking for it. I think that 50-50 gave him that confidence in that warm-up fight that they needed to continue to add the aggression through. That's going to be Panders coming through with the knock onto Blight. That's going to be the Eva 8. 6 is there playing in between the bubble. Metro takes a handful of damage, but that should be enough to come through and open things up. There's the bubble. That's the res coming through onto Metro, and it doesn't seem like there's going to be a third party in the area. So Team Intel is starting things off absolutely beautifully. And Jamerson, how many points were they down? About 50 or 60?
They're down about 50, I believe. 49 behind 5th place, 51 behind 4th place right now as we have another fight, and Nestle pushing up against RKT. It's down to a 1v2, and RKT clean that one up. Stunny bleeding out, though. There are the armor swaps for RKT to recover as well. But it looks like so much of the landscape has been whittled down. We're already down to 9 squads, 25 players remaining, but this is going to be a Hail Mary push coming out from RKT as they're making a blind rotate to the northern side of launch site. They don't know if a team's up there. They're just kind of banking. The team has already vacated that position. It's turned still alive, so you were absolutely right, Tom. He has ratted it out to the top 9. We'll see how much longer he can survive as he's going in for that blind rotate with the Q. It looked like a lot was used on in there. Defensive bombardment going down. Turns narrowly dodged out on that one.
Look at Turns killing it right now as the lonely rat here for team content. We'll keep tabs on him a little bit later, see if he's able to survive, especially on the kill feed too as the teams are starting to rotate. But Rice Krispie Treats, we were talking about their blind rotation. This is tough because Tech just won. Ooh, he's so weak that he actually goes down to Panders right there over towards the side, and we have the zone coming too. So Team Intel continuing to lock things down from a priority position. They also own the high ground on the ledge, so this is great for Team Intel as the zone is going to show us where Zone 5 is going to go, and they're still in. So all these armor swaps are going to look great for Team Intel. You can see the amount of kills and assists they already have. If they could finish this one off, we could be looking at a potential 30-point game over here, and that is exactly what they need to continue to try to push into Season 3 here of Series Z. Only 4 spots out of our 9 partnered teams, and Team Pringles sitting in first place. They've been looking fairly strong, but I mean, this game has been all Team Intel, and when you have those type of games for Team Intel, you need to be able to finish these off. So I'm kind of rooting for them that they can make this thing a little bit closer, because then we're going to get some great games out of Applejacks and Cheez-It as well, and we're already going to get some. So if Team Intel can add that pressure, the rest of the lobby is just going to get that much more interesting, and that could be the rat. It could be Turns doing what rat things do, hanging at the bottom of the map.
I love how Turns was just down there like, don't mind me. He's not even crouching, trying to make himself smaller. He's just making no noise whatsoever. Team Intel have been pushed. It looks like as Crispy Bacon was inside that building, they got the knock and instantly fall back as they were low. Team Cheez-It are still alive throughout all of this. They did try to come in for that third party. Turns does get finished off, so we are down to our top 6 squads as this ring will continue to pull down here to the south side of launch site. The time being, Team Cheez-It, one of the squads that are on the bubble as well, but it's Team Intel in this game, closing a lot of that ground right now. They're playing on the outside. As you can see, they've got a gold armor swap, triple red Evos as well, looking for that 30-point game. Here comes the drop down from Team Intel as they quickly change targets. They do lose out on Metro. Need to get him back up safely here. As you can see, they're covering the angles from the high ground, and luckily for them, the fight still continues outside, inside here. So no push out onto the vulnerable Team Intel. Another few points going their way.
Team Intel is out for blood right now. That's an aggressive play, and you love to see it. I think they're going to be A-okay getting back up that ramp as well, as they're able to finish that fight off just in time as we see Team Pringles make their way up over towards this high ground. You do have Flashpoint inside as well. Kubsky and his team are fighting inside with another team, but Team Intel, when you look at this, they have a team on the low ground, and they don't really have anyone that's directly on their back, so you love the position that they're in. They actually are going to get a couple of knocks onto Team North Stars, as Rakanishu is going to get the knock onto Kubsky. It's Prodigy Aces who's the weakest one, but he's still pushing through with the rest of his squad. Actually eats a shot over towards the side that knocks him, and the instant res comes out from Joey Blackout, as Rakanishu is going to lay down some cover fire and check the angles. Actually thinking about the defensive bombardment. There comes Team Intel flying through, and oh my gosh, Panders with the R9.
Now they gotta suffer no losses here, and they have not, but there it is. 6 goes down. Team Pringles know this is their moment to strike. In the final 3v3, Panders clutches up and secures top 2 for them at the very least, but it's now down to a 2v3 as 6 goes down. Team Intel now with the 3v2. They got the knock out the Panders. It's just one left, and it's just Metro here, but Team Intel have done a massive job in this game. They take second overall, but they'll be first in points after game number 1.
Man, Intel doesn't grab the win there. It is Team Pringles, and of course that roster went on to win the championship there in season number 2. But Anders showing up 12 kills in that game. Intel was frying. They finished in second place with Panders. A big reason why. And of course, it's also cool to talk about the fact that, you know, Panders is back in the fold now, back in Series Z, has returned, looking great so far this season, and definitely was looking awesome back in Season 2. A big part of why, you know, Team Intel, if you look back at their journey in Season 2, we're struggling. We're kind of a middling team, really mired in a lot of struggles early on in the season. They had a big come up, though, in that second half and really came into their own in the second half of that season. A much similar storyline to what we saw from Team Intel in season number 4. Of course, big reason why that happened was the roster moves that saw James Fearless coming in, but similar trajectories for both of those squads. So well played there from Team Intel. And love getting to look back at the old squad here and see them absolutely frying there. We're halfway through our games, though, today, so we're going to go to a quick break right now. When we come back, though, plenty more to check out with our Series E greatest hits, so don't go far. Last game, we got a nice look at Panders and Season 2 Team Intel doing some great work there. But we also got a good look at the Pringles team and Presley grabbing a win there. Let's jump a season forward, though, and look at Season 3 Team Pringles and see what Presley and the squad were able to do then.
Head into game number 3, so let's go ahead and head right on in. I mean, take a look at these map changes. It's so massive, especially up there in the epicenter refinery side. I love it.
And we have blue skies again. I'm so happy about that. It looks gorgeous.
Yeah, there was like a grim tone to the past few iterations of World's Edge, but having nice clear skies again, it's great. And then they've like ridden the nice middle line. Oh, Team Pringles find themselves in a fight, getting challenged this time around.
Not my team.
Fury is the first one to fall.
Oh, it looks like Phony is trying to get a look at where the team is right now. Oh, no, but he's the last one left. Can he clutch it? He knows the health of the team, of the enemy he was just hitting, but he doesn't know any other information.
Yeah, he's got the purple armor at the very least, but he only has a Havoc with one clip basically left, 1.5 here. And doesn't have a secondary weapon to back this one up, and so this is going to be a very difficult one. Goes for the peak. There's the blue armor on the other side, and now he only has 16 shots left. This is just impossible here, unless he can... Nope. Rollers will clean that one up. Sniper meta, take them out.
Oh, no. Yeah, I think we're going to see more people on the L-Star, especially with these attachments here. It just, honestly, I feel like the L-Star is going to become the new Spitfire because it can just hold so many more rounds without overheating, and you can reload or you can cool it off much quicker.
All right, sniper meta now with full control over the northeast side of the map, and we do have some decent information about where the ring is going. It's going to be another northern one. I feel like this one might actually go to the respawn beacon. We'll find out in just a moment. It's difficult to tell because we do have that mini-map that's kind of rotating around. That's a little bit distracting. But it does seem like it should be pulling up towards that respawn beacon just outside of the Skyhook tunnels. On board with Team Intel, who are coming in for this third party over here at Rockstar. Over at Lava City once again. We saw Applejack trying to make the push onto Rockstar earlier on. This is where Team Intel really started things off, finding a lot of kills in the early game. This time around, though, things have slowed down just a bit.
And it looks like Verhulst is back on Seer, just not wanting to let go of that vital information you were talking about. Oh, and Dupe getting a little bit of an angle on the team here. Actually, a very nice angle, and the ult goes off, and now they know exactly where they all are, and they can push this, knowing that they're all behind this one.
Yeah, two-man push from the stairwell there. And they got the first knock. Retro going down, and it's a 2v3 for them. No fear pushing into the bubble here as he hits for a big one. 70, 33, 77. And there it is. Team Intel continuing the momentum that they had from game number 2.
What a beautiful team push. That was coordinated. And once they had that information, they knew exactly which corners to pinch. I'm telling you, Seer is really strong. I'm expecting a nerf maybe in a week.
Yeah, the cooldown on that ult needs to be like 3 minutes or something. Having it here for the first fight is actually pretty incredible.
BM.
Joining on board with Team Airstream, who seem to have a squad caught out. Hey! As there's a Seer on the other side. Bloodhound scan out from Gordo. He's got the Beast of the Hunt as well. Spots one, hitting for Flash, pushes the car now on the other side, hitting for the 14. We'll get the knock onto Arc. Bring this one down to a 3v2 for them, but it seems like the rest of the squad might have actually just made their way on out, and we'll just go ahead and forget about Arc.
Yeah, it looks like they were able to at least secure 1 KP, so that's a start for them. Looks like the ring is around Survey, Epicenter, Fragment West, and that respawn beacon that you were talking about. I don't know about you, but those circles are always so hard to find a position in late game.
Yeah, we have Airstream though. Looks like ready to find another squad, and they do have him ahead of them. Just outside of that scan as they are inside the middle of the map currently. Long range with the Volt, not exactly what you want to do, so they're going to look to try and close the distance here. And they haven't taken too much damage as they make this approach as well. The team might just be trying to book it themselves and get away from Team Airstream. We know that, you know, Arc did go down earlier on, so this might just be the duo trying to survive.
Yeah, it does look like Airstream is very confident pushing this fight. It looks like they almost just want to take this fight. So, oh no, but they might be getting third party from the back. So now they need to be careful about this push.
Yeah, it's just snipes out from a team that's pretty far off over by like staging area here as Nestle are actually in the area. So this might have been the squad that spotted them out, and now they're trying to close the distance on them. Swapping on over to the G7 Scouts, and we'll see if he has extra ammo on it. Now he's down to 40 here. One team right above him, Malice Mamba. Just have to be careful. Again, he doesn't have the full fighting force on that G7 Scouts and doesn't have a mag, so he's only got 10 shots in it. Just going to go ahead and navigate around this instead, using that Valkyrie redeploy. Here's Rice Krispies, though, over by staging that. Have a team caught inside that main building for now. They try to push up. They get a decent tag. Here's another nade on in, forcing them to the left-hand side. They're going to go for the peak now as a full 3-man, hitting for the purple there. The Seer is caught out by himself. Crazy goes down. Lightstar Joe picks that one up as Clinical wants to find some more, and there it is. Rice Krispies won't get the full team fight win and the reset here. Clinical doing his job on that Recon Legend, making sure no third parties come in from the northern side.
You know, I really fear a player who runs a Wingman EVA 8. You know that they are just extremely confident in hitting their shots, and I would not want to go up against Rice Krispie Treats.
It's all about the big bursties there. Clinical popping that Ultimate Excel. Will have another one up for the next fight. I mean, take a look at how quickly it charges up. 1% per second. You definitely need to nerf that one. Here's Team Razor, though, over at Skyhook. It looks like they were able to get their trials loots. We got the double golds for Hakulo and Baby Tooley. Full team jump padding on over towards the diner. No, the triple stack, as Team Razor are a little bit split up here, and Zeratricky is just trying to work his way towards that red Evo, poke away, get the armor checks for them before they full commit onto this squad.
I just realized they have 2 gold shields, so they are very healthy going into this if they choose to fight. It looks like Pop-Tart's taking a fight from one of the new POIs. Oh, that's
this
just
is no
Visor.
name, yeah.
Right.
Outside of World's Edge here, as Z Davis did go down, but they do get the res onto him, and he should be safe. Zone closing in as well for round number 1. It's basically how all of our games have been playing out so far across the 3 games that we've had. A very, very fast early game, and then it slows down in the mid game, and so it's just how our games have been, especially with teams exploring how this new map works out. Here's Hakulo looking to try and infiltrate this building, working his way on into full control over the elevator shaft and the stairwell now. We do have, looks like the Seer ultimate being used, so nothing really coming of it here. They're going to go ahead and use that defensive bombardment to force them off the top, and now they're chasing after him. There's almost no resistance coming out from the other side. They've already gotten 2 knocks, and they'll finish off 6 XZs, no issues.
That was the fastest fight I've seen. Everything went Razor's way right there. They all pushed inside and basically just fell into the mousetrap. You can see Zara laughing about that as well. Intel. Looks like they're finishing off 2 kills here.
Yeah, they're picking up more kills along the way. This should be their 6th kill, I believe. But that Seer ultimate actually Seer Q actually just missing there. But they know exactly where he is now. Gives up his position with that ultimate. But it's his last stand. Drez will go down. Pop-Tart's showing up for the third party, though. And, they're more than likely going to have that Seer ultimate to utilize as well. But here it is, the first knock coming out very shortly. It's going to be Skittle Cakes taking out Rakanishu, who just over-peaked that one. And now it's the push out from Team Intel. Will they be able to trade back from the Pop-Tart side? They do. Skittle Cakes going down. Now the EVA 8 doing a lot of damage. Team Intel, they'll survive the third party. And they'll get Skittle Cakes back up. But here comes the fourth party. Another Q out from Verholz to try and slow down the third parties, but it looks like that team's not going to full commit onto this one, so Intel should be able to survive this one. Here's the first peek out from Trip Nasty, doing some decent damage with that R99. He needs the rest of his squad behind them. Early bubble out from them, but it's going to be the HP advantage for Team Intel. They have the purples. They almost got the knock on the Strippy, forcing out that armor swap, and here's the Arcstars. The bubble will go down very shortly here as he backs away. Again, he needs the rest of his squad here. They're showing up a little bit too late. Team Intel are nothing if not determined to get another massive game now. They almost got the knock on 2-1. Guppy is going to go ahead and trade away as both of his other teammates have been cracked, and now it's Team Intel on the hunt. They got the knock. No. They're going to finish them off. Team Intel already have 8 kill points.
This just goes to show you that you just cannot expect all your third parties to go the same way each time. I mean, Intel barely took any damage from the other fight, and they were able to stay healthy through all those 2 third parties. And it looks like Razor here just decimating a team outside of Survey Camp.
They have control over the northern side of the zone for now, and Team Razor will be able to hold this down. The scan shows no hostiles in the area, so they'll be safe here. And this is crazy. It's just zone number 2. We're already down to 12 squads, so this is even faster than the other games we've had so far. Applejacks, though, just outside over at Survey Camp, holding down a building, as it looks like a lot of teams have positioned themselves in here, but we don't have the ring information quite yet. We'll find out in just a moment as the ring finishes up closing in just a minute.
Yeah, and this isn't a bad place to be at, but they don't have any legends that can keep them boarded up in that room. So maybe a Watson or a Caustic. So they might end up contesting that building.
Does seem like the ring will be pulling towards
right there.
Epicenter side now. Nades getting thrown in, but they should be able to dodge out on a lot of those for the time being. That Nox gas grenade doing some decent damage. Remember, it starts at 5 ticks now. It's 5 for the first tick here, so it's not as oppressive as it used to be, but you can see Blueberry Smalls just checking the back and make sure no one goes in. That Seer ultimate helping them out here is it's layered on top with that Q. It's going to answer back Q for Q.
I love seeing that happen. Just, oh, you're going to scan me? I can scan you back.
Blueberry Smalls is 11 damage off from getting that purple for himself, and you have to imagine that Kupski and 00 Negative are also in a similar state, getting closer and closer towards that. No, Kupski's at 177, so he's going to allow Blueberry Smalls with the longer range weapon to try and deal with that, try and get it. Another Seer Q coming in, and it's just Q after Q in this lobby.
Yeah, the Q cooldown time is also very short. I think it's something around 30 seconds. So it just lets you kind of scan if you're stuck in a situation, especially if you're in the final circle early.
Team Intel, take a look. Dupe already has 1,200 damage. But here's Cheez-It trying to control the mountaintops just outside of Epicenter on the southeast side, actually, southwest side, getting that drop. Another team showing up from the flanks. They've got to be careful as they back away. It's Team Rockstar trying to take advantage. They've done a lot of damage to Finicky, and they get the first knock, but it's traded back with that Prowler. Big burst out from him, but it's still a 2v2 as he goes for the repeat once again, dropping down. This time around, it's going to be Kimchi Lee to finish off Finicky for the armor swap now. And now Cheez-It are down to the 1v2 as Malls is going to try and create some space. RKT showing up for the third party, though. We'll see if they can punish Team Rockstar.
Oh, no. This is a messy position to be in. You don't want to be caught out on the heels because there's not a lot of cover.
Yeah, the Seer Ultimate's going out from either side, and he realizes that the HPs are low, and he wants to try and punish them. Defensive Bombardment has been used by Lightstar Joe, and they get the knock onto Crummy now as they try to continue to push forward, but it looks like they are just outside of the range of that Seer Ultimate, so they have no idea exactly where Rockstar have backed away to. Can they full commit onto this one, though?
Oh, and they're going to take the triple take and try to get some extra shots off. I think they might be able to win this, but they need to get within better cover or push immediately.
I don't believe they secured the Thirst onto Crummy, and it seems like Team Rockstar were able to get him back on up and drop down onto the low. So RKT kind of missed out on their timing for this one, but it seems like they do have some determination and will try and continue to chase after them. The team at the bottom of Epicenter there as we join back on board with Team Razor just outside of Frag West right now. They've got a team on platforms just to their north, and so for the time being, they're going to try and gatekeep the squads that are coming in from Fragment.
Yeah, it looks like all the teams are kind of funneling into the same location. This could be a very big fight, and there are still 9 squads left.
It's full squads as round 3 finishes closing up with 30 seconds left to go. 2 teams in here. It's actually Team Intel. One of them getting a knock onto the Nuke team. And oh my goodness, they're already at 10 kills, about to pick up another 3. Dupe is dropping down low. You got to be careful there. They do survive.
They secure it.
Yeah, they secure it, but they do. But Team Razor do know that it's going to be Team Intel down here, and they need to put a stop to them so far. They've been seeing them on the kill feed all game long. They cannot allow them to have another 31-point game, or this just becomes almost undoable for the rest of the lobby. You can see the snipes down coming from up top as Team Intel are pinned, but they are safe in the ring.
So Verhulst, what he could do is try to scan and maybe stun them for a minute before they run back, but it looks like Razor are trying to run up on this team here, so they might actually be giving Intel a chance to escape free.
Yeah, it's actually RKT that was looking down at them, and now Razor showing up to put a stop to this push. So Team Intel can count their lucky stars for this. Lightstar Joe going down. That was the port being used by Rice Krispies to try to punish that knock, but that just means Team Intel are going for the res. Arcstar, though, might get the re-knock from Zero Tricky here, and that's a connect. He might actually get the re-knock, and Team Intel now in dire straits as Verhulst is the next one to fall here. But here comes the third party against Team Rockstar, and so they've put themselves in a sticky situation. But a nice cue out from Kimchi Lee gives him so much information as he gets the crack, backs off, and now Rockstar trying to stabilize here, but Kimchi Lee goes down. Team Razor punishing that one now. So many teams showing up to the south side of the map here, and it's become all hell on the battlefield.
Ooh, beautiful Peacekeeper shots here, all connecting. Oh, but Rockstar does go down and Razor comes out the victor. What a terrible place to take fights in. There is no cover. If you're not on high ground, you're just gonna lose. I hate taking fights up there.
And it was just everyone getting thirsty for Team Intel, and then you saw how quickly things turned around. I think Team Intel actually made it out of there alive, even though Verhulst did get knocked. Here's Applejacks getting pushed, though, as Nestle picking up 2, and it's only up to Kupski left remaining to keep his team in this game. Stickdrift OP showing up for the third party here as Flinzer getting some decent damage off with that G7 Scout, but you can see how strong the Caustic is. He gets so many barrels now, down to a 20-second cooldown as Stickdrift OP realizes they don't have the time for this push anymore. Let's just go ahead and back off. Kupski, you can see, still alive right in the middle of the battlefield.
Poor Kupski just hiding in the corner there. Is he alone?
Yeah, he's the only one remaining for Team Applejacks now, and we do have confirmation. Team Intel are still alive. They're making their way on in. Stick Drift OP, though, up top here on the high ground with the rocks to play off of as EXO gets tagged. Kovsky getting ready to use that port to get out just in case he gets spotted. What a terrible position to be in, but take a look at how composed he still is throughout all of this. He's been in this position plenty of times here in the Tom Cataract cam.
I don't. Should that be achievement? Should we give a special award for that? I feel like we should get like a special trophy for that. That'd be kind of cute.
The thing, like, if you're the rat, it's a different gameplay style in and of itself, right? And it's a trial by fire, and so there's no real way to actually practice being a rat. It just happens to you. So Kovsky, it's happened to him a lot, and he knows how to survive. He's already hit top 6 in the past. I mean, he's been able to clutch out top 2s, top 3s as a rat plenty of times. And so, you know, he's already in a great position now. But here's Team Razor fully controlling the heights on the southern side of the map right now. Team Intel are in that building just to their southwest where the pings are, excuse me, just to their northwest where their pings are as well. But they're in a great spot. They have a great crossfire being set up. They're still rocking the double golds that they were able to get off drop.
Yeah, they have very good positioning. They can see where all the teams are at, and they still have a Bloodhound, which is great for additional information once they get a little bit closer. Yeah, there are a lot of teams. There's 6 squads left.
Yeah, 11 seconds left before this zone closes, and it's going to be the final circle after that one. Malice Mamba. See, that's what I was wondering with
They do catch Kupski. And they do finish that ultimate because he was healing. It caught Kupski out.
Nice pickup from Splash to take him out. Now we have hit the top 5. 3 kills at the very least for Nestle as they're going to go ahead and use that redeploy, but they're taking so much damage from the ring throughout all of it. You might just die. Oh, they do. Mid-air. Oh my goodness. Okay, here's Sniper Meta playing on top of the crane as the fighting is taking place underneath them. Team Intel versus Team Razor right now. Verhos is the first one to go down, but they've done a lot of damage themselves. We'll see if Skittlecakes can survive throughout all of this as he backs away. Dupe is the healthiest member for him as he picks up another knock onto Baby Thule. That means the Sniper Meta should be able to drop down for this to finish it all off. The Skittlecakes is over here right underneath them. They're trying to peek, and he hears them above as well. You can see that right now Team Intel already have 13 KP at the very least. They've hit the top 3. Here's Sniper Meta dropping down. Now the Q going out, narrowly missing, I believe, onto Team Razor as the scan comes out from Team Razor. And the 3v3. So Skittlecakes might be the MVP, might be able to clutch up for his squad. There's the knock. Skittlecakes actually getting one onto Blight, but that gives away his information. And Sniper Meta now want to get revenge for him. He does go down, but he does at least secure the kill onto Blight, so that's going to be another kill point for them, and that means Team Razor turn things around, and they'll be able to take the win here in game number.
So, I was a little mistaken earlier. That was actually a deep dive there at Season 3. Team Intel and Skittlecakes popping off. Not a win for the squad there, but 10 kills from Skittle, and of course, you know, Skittlecakes going to be competing in the ALGS Championships this weekend for Optic, and that'll be certainly very fun to watch. But Intel with a solid showing there, Razor with the win, so a lot of those Series E pros representing strong there in that game. We're going to go to a break right now, but when we come back, we've got plenty more.
For nothing, baby. Let's get in there.
Now, even the biggest headaches are toast.
Excedrin keeps your head in the game.
For no more throbbing noggins.
Excedrin, game over for headaches.
So while I was mistaken the last time around, I promise I've got it right here. This time we're looking at Season 3 Team Pringles here. They were the most dangerous team in Season 3, not named Team Intel, and Presley had a big pop-off performance in this early Season 3 showing.
Second place, but I do want to point out that Applejacks is only 2 points behind them, so they really need to focus and pull themselves together and secure second spot at least solidly in this next match.
We saw in the last game here, Team Razor. Well, in game number 1, we know that they walked away with trials, but they tried again in that last game, in game number 4. They showed up a little bit late, and all the loot was already gone, but here's Pringles. Once again, 6xZ's fighting them off drop. They've already got the man advantage here. They're going to find another one to knock onto Goopy, and that's going to be 6xZ's going down very shortly here. Oh, Nades gets at least one consolation prize at the very least, but the res will come out for Pringles. And it looks like everyone on Pringles, despite getting 50-50 at every game, they're still having a good time.
I'm so surprised that they keep contesting them. Oh, and the BM emote. I love it.
Yeah, 6xZ's, though, are a regular competitor here in Series E, right? They're basically a staple for our open registration nights. So I think, like I said, usually for a lot of our squads, it's about establishing your drop site. So if you're going to play the next 10 weeks here in the open night with our partnered squads, you also want to kind of command that respect that, hey, we're going to fight for this drop as well. And if we have a really good week, then, you know, you might be the one that ends up being relegated. For 6xZ's, they don't have anything to lose. It's Team Pringles that have more on the line.
Oh, and it looks like Splasher is already in a fight here at Thermal. I don't know who that team's up against, but they are full sending.
Yeah, it's going to be the Rev Octane as it looks like. Turns got the knock onto Brandon here. Malice Mamba will take out Lon away. And it looks like it's just one player remaining, but he's dropping right into the stairwell where the rest of the squad is awaiting. Gordo will get finished off, and Team Splash, Nestle Splash, will pick that up.
That was probably one of the fastest fights I've seen in all of these games yet. Looks like GNR, they're also in a fight here.
I'm wondering if this is Team Pop-Tarts over here. Find out in just a moment, but right now with that Spitfire, it's going to be crummy to actually pick that one up. Neg, though, he's going to be fighting into I believe it's going to be a 1v2 as he's still pushing forward. Yeah, there it is. The res coming out from Team Chile to bring Crummy back into things. So Rockstar with a nice rotation up into Geyser will pick up 2 kill points on the verge of finding a third as they secure this thirst onto Highlight.
Yeah, it looks like Neg is just going to run for survival because there's nothing else he can do at this point, really. And there it is, 2 KP for Team Rockstar.
I think this was a third party, actually, coming out from Rockstar. So good timing coming out from Rockstar here. There's still 20 seconds left to go before the zone even starts closing. And if they want to, they can kind of stick around here. There's plenty of time as those banners will slowly expire. And it looks like they're just going to take their time to loot here because really, they're already on the edge. The zone is pulling up once again. A little bit north, not the same kind of circle that we had last time, so this one could be going over to Survey. There's a chance, I think a higher chance that this one might actually go over to Skyhook. We don't have an idea of where the second ring is going, but Pringles trying to find another fight now as they make their way through Survey camp. Bow check Bow out for Fury, but he's been naded out, and he does dodge that, and now they're just going to go ahead and rooftop camp these squad. As they try to push up, it's Pop-Tart. Z Davis going down quickly. They do have the barrel set up, though, slowing them down. So the res not quite getting popped yet as they do use that Nox gas grenade. They haven't stuck the res quite yet as they still need to defend against the squad.
Yeah, and again, I was saying earlier with one of the squads that was holding out in this building last game, if a Caustic was there, they would have been able to hold it more confidently, and that's exactly what they're doing here.
They haven't been able to get the res yet, and it's just a matter of time before Team Pringles push in. I believe there's just one more barrel down. They finally get the res onto Z Davis, but they still need to buy even more time for them to heal. And it looks like SJR coming in for the third party. They got the re-knock onto Z Davis here, but Shosuke, he's taking a lot of damage, and he backs away, leaving his duo up top. as it looks like missed out on the third-party timing. So Z Davis will get re-rezzed, and Pop-Tarts somehow survived that entire affair.
They are holding on for dear life right here. It looks like SJR is actually fighting for their own lives. It looks like the third party didn't go well, and now they're getting third-partied as well. We don't know who they're up against right now, but looks like Trosuke might actually go down here.
I believe it was Clone Force 32, defensive bombardment right on top, and he only has about 26 HP, but he's got the moves, somehow juking all of that, but he ultimately falls. Oh boy.
You have to
As
respect the survivability.
Yeah, that was pretty nice movement coming out from them. Here's Team Pringles going for another try onto Team Pop-Tarts that knock onto Z Davis once again, and ultimately Team Pringles will finally get the 3 kill points that they wanted off this squad. Here comes the third party attempt by Clone Force 32, and they're full sending it into these, thinking that maybe there was a lot more damage there, but they've actually done more damage to themselves. The turnaround coming out now is, oh boy, that jump pad wasn't the greatest, and decoys will not go out safely.
Yeah, you really have to be careful when you use jump pads, especially in higher skill lobbies like this, because that just makes you an open target. And it looks like Pringles here, even though they weren't fully healed off the last fight, they might have the advantage here. And they finished the fight easy.
Yeah, they didn't take too much damage in that fight up against Team Pop-Tart, so it was a quick recovery for them. All they needed were some armor swabs, and they instantly turned around. And then, of course, you had the self-arc star there that ultimately helped them out. Team Intel over here by Countdown trying to hold down a building as Skittle Cakes has been cracked, and you can see Verholst and Skittles trying to heal up, but now it's going to be Dupe's opportunity to heal up with that bubble down. He's done enough to hold down the line for his squad at the very least, but now he needs to slide on over. We'll see how hard this team decides to commit. It's going to be 2 brains, 1 controller on the other side of this fight.
Looks like Oxy got his purple shield, but also is taking some damage, and he's going to have to back off to heal. I don't know if they're going to be able to push this, but they do have shields ready, at least.
The port is there for Tech if they do need to get out of here. I don't know if he'll actually use that in an aggressive manner, as you're going to try and get some information for themselves using the using the tactical of Mercy, but really, 2 brains, 1 controller, all they're doing is just using up their economy. You can see a lot of cells, a lot of bats have been used throughout this engagement. And like you said earlier on, the longer you stick around, the longer you make noise, the higher chance of a third party. So it looks like 2 brains, 1 controller know that they took way too long and they'll just back off.
Yeah, especially in a place like Countdown where you know a lot of teams might be passing through. You just have to be careful about when you take fights. They've been here for quite a bit too, and it seems like the other team might be pushing in.
Ooh, good damage out there from Mercy with that scouts, as it looks like another team was considering actually poking out. And so now they're the ones that are actually running a Valkyrie, so they can take their time here if they want to, because they'll have that ultimate to just try and pop out. But she's it. Riding on the edge, they've got a squad ahead of them. You can see them running through the zone right now, and so Mollis might be able to sneak up on them, but he does get peeked. Only hits for the 14, but he's got his squad mates helping out. Bubble has been used as well as Cheesa commit to this push now. Defense bombardment down. They get the knock onto Sin, and now, the squad just showing up way too late. And they should be able to pick this one up. Jug going down, and now there's just going to be 1 player left for this squad.
Yeah, not staying together can be a death sentence for a squad, and it looks like they are going to full chase him and try to get this finish.
He's pretty far, and I believe they already used their jump pad. Joining on board with Team Pringles. They have like 7 or so kill points right now, and they're looking to hold down the train tunnel. We saw a lot of action taking place here in game number 4, and it's going to be very similar here in game number 5. But for Team Pringles at this point, it's all about making to the late game. They have their KP. Now they want the placement points behind it as well, as Team Cheez-It find themselves in another fight here on the south side of the zone.
No. It looks like they're getting third-partied, and they can't. It was a rev send, so they're actually going to have to try and get this res off and either commit to the fight or leave, but it looks like they're not going to be able to survive this one, and they go down. Oh, and that was Team Splash.
Yeah, we saw them running that Rev Octane in that first fight, 50-50 down at Thermal Station. Cheez-It tried to gatekeep here on the southern side, but it did not work out for them. And you can see Malice Mamba, he's already popping those ultimate accels to have a second go. So they're going to look for their next target now and go for that Rev Octane push once again.
Oh, Rev Octane is such a strong meta right now, especially since it basically grants you a second life. So the fact that they're running this to get initial damage and then push back to kind of finish off the kills is a pretty good strategy. And it looks like Rockstar here, they're in another fight right inside the middle of Fragment, just outside of the circle.
Yeah, they got a team playing inside market. They're going to take the time to just heal up for this one, but it seems the squad might have actually just backed away. And so neither team really wanting to full commit onto this one. Rockstar just backs off for now, and they'll find another way to approach this here as they're making their way over to construction, so they don't have to commit. There's 36 seconds left to go, and here's Splash now pushing onto 2 brains, 1 controller. They've already gone 2 knocks. Oxy, Mercy, and Tech are gone. Team Splash picking up another +3, and I don't even think they used the totem for that one.
I don't think they had time to use totem on there either. Yeah, it looks like Team Splash is really trying to make their mark in this game here. The last time that we saw them on the leaderboard, they were placed 16th, so maybe they want to try and play for points.
With 2 games left to go, I highly agree with this. Pivoting onto a composition that wants to fight early and wants to continue to take fights in every stage of the game. And so far, they have, what, like 5-7 kill points, I believe, across them. And so things are working out. And now it's will they be able to continue this kind of same pace? There's only 11 squads remaining here as we get a better idea of where this ring is going. It's going to go ahead and pull down to the respawn beacon on the train platform northwest of Fragment West right now. And you can see Protectable Pride and Cruisin' are in position. Here's Team Razor. We saw them in a similar position, same time in game number 4. As I believe they were taking on Aftermath, who were trying to keep them just at this choke. But here's Rockstar finding themselves in a fight. It's going to be a Surus on the other side as Rockstar do trade 1 for 1. And the thirst comes out. There's a knock onto Aj now. It's going to be a 2v1 fight for Rockstar. But where is the Team Razor third party?
There it is. There was the scan. They're coming in. Razor trying to finish up this kill on Rockstar. Are they going to be able to team wipe them? They get 1 knock. It's a 2v2. And they're trying to go for the res. Razor, I don't know, he has a gold backpack, so they're going to be able to come back up full health.
And Hakulo, of course, will also have his passive, so the downtime is almost nothing with that gold armor. So it looks like Team Rockstar now are going to be down to a solo, I believe, as Razor found great timing on that push.
That was very good timing. It just shows you that Razor has been keeping an eye on everything, and it looks like that's going to be the Rev Octane push. And they are in Rev form, so they're being sent back, but they didn't do that much damage.
Silence onto Hakulo, so he's going to be slowed down a bit, but you're right, they didn't do that much damage at all, and so Razor, they can still play aggressively here. You see Hakulo tops himself off with 1 cell, and now they've got the crossfire set up. Here comes Intel, though, to come in for the third party. It's not going to be a strong third party, it's just going to be a flank on to the squad. And so it's just a sandwich now, and they're not going to hard commit. They're just going to try and steal away a kill point if they can. Great shots out. There we go. They get the kill onto turns, and Nestle get knocked out.
And that's exactly what they wanted. They didn't want a full send. They just wanted to get a little bit of just a little taste of the fight. But it does look like Intel is pushing up to try and get some loot here and maybe some better shields, and they get the red shield off of this 1 KP.
They also have to contend with Team Razor. I don't know if they're still sticking around. They are on the other side of this rock. Verholst, he hears them, but he just backs away. They know the strength of the team on the other side of this one. They don't need to commit onto this fight, but they might be stuck onto this side of the zone. And so it's just a matter of time as it looks like Razor will decide to just duck out. And now they're trying to get on top of them as Razor accidentally run into someone. A full team actually underneath this bridge. They picked that one up, taking very little damage. Tricky is the only one that needs to heal up. And here comes Team Intel trying to find an angle on them. Decent damage out from that Spitfire, forcing Team Razor back. But man, Intel are a little bit hesitant on this one. They don't see the trades, so they're not going to hard commit onto it. They have the Beast of the Hunt popping this entire time, so they'll have the additional scans, but it looks like Team Razor do a great job of just maneuvering away from them.
Yeah, and it also looks like Intel might be running a little bit low on ammo on all ends here. I don't remember who has it, but someone has a Spitfire with a gold mag, and they only had about 100 ammo left, so they really need to be careful about their resources.
The Team Razor, winners of game number 4, champions of the arena now, trying to do it back-to-back as they make their way around. Team Intel are happy, though, so far as they did a great job of clearing out this side of the zone, and so they'll have a safe spot to play off of once the ring starts closing in. But it's about Team Razor trying to establish a position, and they're finding it difficult now, getting poked from every angle. There's a team playing onside the platform just to their northwest, so it's going to be up to Rice Krispies to try and gatekeep them.
This location is so hard to defend because there are only two real viable points of cover here, and there are teams already set up there, so Team Razor may have to make a wide flank around.
There's an opportunity, quite possibly, for them to gain position on the northeast side of the zone, of the next zone. There's, of course, that underpass underneath the train tracks that they could try to play off of, but it looks like a squad might already be positioned here. Now Team Razor actually just full sending it on to Rice Krispies. They trade 1 for 2, or actually 2 for 1, and it's just Nemusona by himself. Tricky has gone down, and it looks like the third party is already coming in. Actually doing a great job of just covering the door. They will be able to get Tricky back in, and he's healed up. So Team Razor just audaciously pushed right on top of Rice Krispies and steal this position away from them.
Razor is really showing their strength at being able to work together as a team. All of their comms must be so tight in order for them to make every single fight work, even when it's at the cost of potentially someone going down. And it looks like Intel here, they might have someone below them, just a little bit out of... I think they're trying to get eyes on all the remaining teams here. There are 5 teams left in this small circle.
And you can see the ring is pulling away from this building, and there's 2 teams up top. It's going to be Pringles getting pushed, and they're actually forcing this squad back right now. Good shots. That's going to be Drex going down. That was a Rad. So we're now down to our top 4 squads, as we have Team Razor, Team Intel, Team Pringles, along with 1 open squad team remaining here in the top 4.
This is going to be such an interesting circle. It looks like Pringles might have the advantage here because they are in circle, but the other teams are going to have to move closer to where they are. This is going to be a nasty fight between all the remaining squads.
And you can see why Fury is poking his head out. He wants to just make sure no one runs at them. If he can, with the fire itself, he wants to try and force all 3 squads remaining into each other instead, alleviate all that pressure just by showing your presence here. And he's the one that's holding down the eastern side of the zone for his squad. The other 2, you can see they're a little bit split up for them. And for now, it's just going to be until the ring closes. So we'll see if Pringles can hold on to this position, but it looks like Protectful is setting up a port for himself to get his squad in for the next zone.
Yeah, looks like everyone's playing really carefully. This is the second to last match, so no one wants to be taken out this early because it is still 4 squads left. And Circle is just about to close now, 38 seconds. Intel still trying to get some extra shots off because they know that there's 1 team stuck behind just 1 cargo crate.
They should have the jump pad to go in if they want to, forcing out the bubble from that squad, from Team Razor really early on, and they're trying to delay this drop down for as long as possible here. And so they've at least forced Team Razor into Team Pringles, and now they just have to deal with Cruisin' right below them. You can see Skittles is trying to find something here at the doorway, but now Team Pringles turning their full attention on over to Team Razor, and so it should be a 2v2
or actually 2 fights taking place across this. You can see the defensive bombardment going down. Fury, even though he wants to try and snipe away some kill points, he knows he has to be careful about Razor just above him. Hakulo taking that angle. And surprisingly enough, no deaths quite yet, but it's just a matter of time. As now Protectful is running into Team Razor. Razor losing out 1-1. Protectful picks that one up. Team Intel will be able to pick up those kills, and now Team Razor just down to a duo, and they don't have Zeratricky's bubble for this. We'll see though, as it looks like Team Pringles aren't going to get too aggressive, and it might be a gold bag res for them. The scans out from every angle, and we have a ceasefire between the two teams right now. It's just a truce, but never mind. Fury's going to go ahead and break it as he pushes up. Pringles want these kill points, but do they put themselves in a bad spot for it? The res did go down. They had the gold bag res as well, and now Team Pringles, they have to back away knowing that the res came down.
Pringles is actually still in a pretty good spot here, isolated away from these fights, and they do have a shield swap, but with this last circle closing, they are going to have to push, and that means Intel is going to get a great angle on these guys. Looks like Intel doing damage across the board, but they're not really focusing on a team.
Yeah, they're just
Everyone's
trying to poke
slowly.
away at either side right now. At this point, you can see, just using up the last of all of your heals, just trying to poke, do any kind of damage whatsoever.
Skittle.
And there's the knock and the kill onto Zeratricky, as Baby Tuli will go down as well. Team Intel doing a great job of picking up whatever kill points they can. Team Pringles, they're just biding their time. Verholst is doing such a good job of trying to keep Pringles at bay, but now it's Pringles' turn to turn on the aggression. They got a knock onto one, and they're just going to go ahead and full send it to finish it off. Hakulo is trying his best to survive just underneath behind of his team, and somehow Team Intel, they go down. Team Pringles will be able to finish this one off.
Presley and Team Pringles showing up strong in that one. They grabbed the win, and Presley with a nice little pop-off there for the squad. Of course, has moved on from the team, but is going to be representing Elevate at the ALGS Championships this week. I'm going to be keeping an eye on him as well. Will be, interestingly enough, back-to-back ALGS Championships that Presley will be competing at, because did play in Champs last June, though with a different roster from that Pringles team that competed in Season 2 and 3, so looking forward to that. We're going to go to a break, though, right now. We still have one more game left to look at, so don't go far, folks. We'll be back in just a few. Our last game we'll be looking at here today was a pop-off performance from Team Esports Arena in Season 4. Now, this was after Verholst, departed and went to join TSM, and Noct had joined the squad here. Noct, Dupe, and Skittlecakes now, of course, competing under Optic, and will be playing this weekend at Champs. Let's take a look at one of the early great results from this roster.
That fight between Exet and CLG, though, it's a tale as old as time. It's been happening since the beginning of Season 4, and it's not going to stop.
Yeah, and speaking of domino effects, I mean, that was one where we saw Vizio getting slowed down on their rotation and getting caught out by Excedrin. So it does have lasting effects when it comes to the other squads in the lobby. Atlanta Premier are winners from game number 1. They've been dropping over here at Fragment West. Don't know if anyone's here to contest for Fragment East, so that might be a free beacon for them to move on over towards Exed, about to win out in this 50-50 once again up against CLG, pushing now to take out Nano. Now, it looks like they did lose out on one,
But Mamba, will he be able to get the thirst? It doesn't look like it, as the Gibraltar has already made his way into that building. Hakulo is going to cover for the outside as the res comes through. He's going to back away just to rejoin his squad, though. But it's a 3v1 in Xset's favor.
Yeah, Xset looks like they have this one on lock again. Blue armor coming through. And that's just not going to be enough when you're going up in this 3 versus 1. They even hit him with the finisher, the BM, Jamerson. That's 2 in a row that CLG is going to be on the outside looking out. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, they're going to be going Harvester for the ALGS, right? When it comes to Stockholm, Sweden, when they made it in the playoffs. Xset, they're not in the playoffs. They're still contesting over and over again. And you can either, get frustrated or say, all right, well, we have to stop making these mistakes. What is happening in these 50-50s, and why are they getting the upper hand on us, especially when I don't know if this is even the full Xset squad. That's their normal roster, whether they're trying out Hakulo or he's coming in and filling in. It's pretty rare to see a team with a new player like that come and do so well, as we see what's happening with TDG. Right there onto Noko. So you're wondering where the fight was taking place. It's actually in Sky.
Now, the big worry here is if this fight takes too long, Team Liquid just rolls in. And so last time around, I believe the fight took place pretty quickly. There weren't any real trades. This time there will be, as the double kick comes in. Zednam gets the knock onto Durango. Now Girl's going to try and make her push onto this. She does set down a barrel to control the elevator shaft just a bit.
Smart.
Controlling the complete 3rd floor. Drops down. Almost gets the 1 clip on 2. Player the Wraith, but it looks like Furia will end up getting this one, or at least Stunny, excuse me, comes in to secure that win for them. So Wingman Season, 1 for 1 now on the 50-50. No third party coming out from Team Liquid, as they're probably still taking trials.
That was a little bit of a misplay from Durango, unfortunately. I think he was the one that was sitting at the door, where he goes to and hit a cell, but instead backs away from the door, and then they hit him with the double kick there, and he doesn't even get a shot off. So one shot right there could have ended up maybe turning the tides of that fight, and it's unfortunate for TDG. They also didn't have a great armor advantage either, and that could have came into play. But if Girl had an opportunity to have that gun reloaded, I really feel like, based on the positioning of the barrels, plus the great job of maneuvering around the stairs so the Wraith player didn't see where she was going, was really, really smart, as the fighting doesn't stop for Xset. They are looking like they are not playing around today.
That's 2 full squads now that Xset have been able to pick up. So 5 or 6 kills there at the very least. So that's very nice. And they don't have to rotate far. Remember, coming from Harvester, we took a look at the ring. This one is pulling down towards Tree Side. Elevate already moving their way on in. We've got a lot of other squads starting to move in as well. It's round 1 will finish closing here. So a lot of action throughout the entirety. Round 1, I mean, closing now. Team Nerf. Go for that Valkyrie deploy. They do have a team to contend with here, and gotta be careful. They are a little bit disjointed in this push. Bubble down on the 2nd floor. They're gonna go ahead and push through that stairwell. It looks like they've been forcing the other squad to the other half of this building at the very least, and gonna be up to turns here. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be up to turns. Getting an easy 1 clip onto Sykes now. Can they follow up? Can they chase down this kill? It looks like Demi's gonna go for that peek to try and secure this thirst at the very least, pushing all the way to the other end here. He's got to be careful. He's on his ones right now, but his squad has shown up as Crack comes out onto him. Turns! He's going to have to be careful now, as he's been dropped down to about 10 HP, but there it is. Demi shows up to finish him off with the help of Turns. That's Renegades going down.
And I believe Renegades is one of those teams that lands over here in this particular POI, so Nerf's going to come through and bully their way, not getting any knocks onto Nerf either. So really nice job taking down one of our strongest teams in here. Renegades, one of the teams that were in the Pro League split, but I believe they weren't able to make it and over towards the playoffs. They're more on the side of the potential relegation, and then they stepped it up over towards the tail end. Also, Saucer no longer on that team, and they ended up going with the new 3rd, which hopefully ends up working out for them. I would love to see Renegades continue to put up some amazing games. Madness, one of our most successful players that we have in all of Apex. What a yeet from the bubble right there from Nocturnal. Liquid gonna get the scan onto the next zone. I know, he knows exactly where that thing's gonna go. Also, I want to give an opportunity to shout out all the trolls in the chat. Why don't you guys relax a little bit, realize how much work goes in behind the scenes for all these things, and that the people that are working behind the scenes are human too, and everyone is here because they love Apex. Why don't we just enjoy that moment? How about that?
Team Liquid enjoying a nice stroll through the mine pass right now, making their way towards the Harvester side.
And I mean, they already had a great start in the last game, despite, you know, running into some issues on that rotate for round number 6. Gildersons came up with a huge play for them, keep them in the running, putting them in the top 3 here. We'll see if they can continue that. First splash, though, they've been able to move their way into the thermal station side. They'll be camping that beacon on the southeast side, and so they'll be able to play off of that for a few rings now and use that Valkyrie redeploy when they need to. If there's a very wonky ring pull, I don't really expect it to. It should be going into that back pocket of Tree. Xset, though, looking for another fight, as they do have that team coming out from Mind Pass. That was Team Liquid, I believe.
I want to see Xset continue to put this pressure on. They are dooming right now, and they haven't really left their POI. You can tell they are ready to fight any single team in the vicinity. This is more of like an open day move than a pro day move. The fact that they're willing to risk all these fights and not end up getting third party goes to show you they came out to play today, Jamerson. And if you're confident and you're winning these fights early on against one of our top 10 teams in North America, why not, right? Test the limits of your game and see what you can do and how many points you could put up.
Yeah, I mean, you're already warmed up off of 2 fights, right? But definitely getting slowed down by the first 50-50 with CLG, and then that next fight that came in afterwards as they were trying to move down to the south just completely delayed them. So there's no shot for them to try and play center zone. They're just going to go ahead and hard commit to the edge here, so Team Liquid need to find another way in. They might actually be getting collapsed on right now by Wingman Season, but it's here on the eastern side, just outside of Big Mod Esports Arena. Might have a team on the ropes here. Defensive bombardment bubble has already been used as well. Skittlecake's on the front line, gonna chase them down, popping the barrels for his team as he goes forward. The slide into Dress's knock, and now Skittlecakes is gonna push up. Defensive bombardment is gonna be used here, but the sliver allows the Arcstar to get in. He'll get the re-knock as well, and Team Razor get absolutely demolished in this fight. Duplex might go down, but it looks like he will survive. Here are the Thirsts. He does have a quick armor swap, and he is right back on the hunt for the last member of Team Razor.
Love seeing Skittlecakes on multiple legends, right? Played Horizon previously, switches on over to the Caustic that's been so successful for this ASA squad. And this is the composition that was being ran by them very early on, and everyone kind of started to adapt to that one, mainly because Skittlecakes is so darn powerful. Are they leaving without Duplex? Later, Duplex. See you, kid.
They're 100% chasing after the kill here, and they can't wait for Duplex, or that kill will ultimately get away. Dupe can just go ahead and anchor from the back anyhow as that Gibraltar. Of course, you would love to have the Gibraltar there for the bubble on the drop, but it looks like they might have been able to sandwich this last player, the slide down. They just triangulate his position, and he is stuck. Oh, man. This is rough, but it looks like Team Esports Arena will be able to get that last kill onto Fearing Live.
Poor Fearing Live gets duked out in the middle of World's Edge. That's gotta hurt, but you love to see the plays from Esports Arena. They are not messing around, playing aggressive. Right now, I want to see Xset and Esports Arena duke it out in like an arena style 3-on-3 type of fight, as you see Furia is making their way on over towards Tree, and you know that zone is definitely pulling over there. A handful of different zones over towards Tree. This is one of the endings inside of the trailer. And Panders, he's going to be rocking that Watson, which the value of Watson here inside of this building is not even really a building in a little trailer. It's pretty solid, right? You have a great spot to put the gen. Everybody knows where to put the fences in this type of instance too, so he's just going to continue to try to get these charges up.
Yeah, and you can see the difference that it makes. Instead of committing a bat into that, you just commit a cell or two, and you're right back at the top. Ooh, a knock from Zednim on to next set member here. We'll see if Wingman Season can continue to chase. It looks like they're ready to just hold this choke point for now. Do have a strange pull coming out from this ring. A lot of it looks like maybe even a fence line ending for this one if it doesn't continue to pull down to the south. Zednim needs some time though to heal up here. Looks like they do spot out another team coming out from behind, so I'm glad Wingman Season took that time to go for that reset instead of chasing out the kills.
Yeah, and they're playing this popular high ground area, which is just third-party central, though, probably one of the most popular third-party spots in all of World's Edge, because you know teams end up coming on over from the choke, teams start coming from the back end of Thermal Station on the opposite side of the choke too. So this is a difficult spot to go and hold. And a lot of this does end up coming down to what Noko's decision making is going to be when he throws his bubble down, when he ends up using his offensive bombardment. And we'll see what the rotation is going to be like too. 14 squads, that's still a decent amount, not as fast paced as we saw in game number 1. But you're still in the next zone for when round 2 closes. They have the skin on to round 3 too. So there's plenty of time to decide exactly how they want to approach the situation.
For Team Liquid, they were able to make it onto the high ground just to the northwest of Tree. I'm able to hold this passive position for some time. Will be incredibly strong for basically any ring that this one can pull off to, unless it goes to like basically the middle of Tree inside of that triangle. Then it could be a little bit detrimental, but of course they've got that skyward dive to try and use the out of bounds on top of the leaf there, and then delay their push on down up top. So a lot of ways you can flex and play this position. They're just waiting for this ring knowledge as well. If they want to, they can try and slide around from the thermal side to pick up that beacon, but I don't know if they'll be able to. I believe there was a team camping that just before.
So much ammo here for Nocturnal in this 30-30. He could just rip across the map if he really wanted to, and that's the Cat's Cradle that we're hoping for. Way to go, Panders. No one's getting in there, bro.
And I'm glad that he still has like the senses, right? Like this is just like knowledge of like Watson and how to play it. So it's just the instant reaction that teams, because they had to play Watson for so long, players had to play Watson for so long, they just have it ingrained in muscle memory at this point. For Team Excedrin, they are playing fence line just north of Tree right now. They're watching their back to see if anyone comes in from that Harvester side, but for Twisted Sin, trying to gatekeep a squad inside of Lava Siphon. This spot can be a little bit difficult to hold. You have to be careful, because if you end up peeking backwards too far, you can get clapped up top on that platform. Team Esports Arena now starting to make their advance onto Twisted Sin as the air burst nades come out, narrowly missing. Gonna wait out the counter scan from the Bloodhound on that squad as more nades do drop in, but they're not getting the connects quite yet. They need a backup. Skittlecakes here did take a lot of damage. Now they do use that Nox gas grenade on the first floor, but it looks like the player was able to get back up top, and so it's a full 3 up there. Noct, will he be able to get the one clip? He gets tagged from a player over by Tree, unfortunately, stopping the push completely. Along with this defensive bombardment, Esports Arena have expended a lot of tools here and have not gotten much at all.
Noct is such a smart player. I mean, the idea of taking on over towards the high ground with the jetpack, realizing that he's not getting shot by the team that's directly below him, but a team on over towards the side, and you can see they've been ADSing on top of this platform for quite some time. You may be time to hit that beast of the hunt, because they are full sending over there. Duplex coming through on the zip line, full Asus style. Now you see the finger rolls coming in from Skittlecakes. That's definitely going to be at least 1 KP, maybe some more, and all 3 players from Twisted Sin GG get the Esports Arena treatment. And I'm not talking about y'all in the chat getting banned.
Woo. That was a little bit close there for Skittlecakes, but ultimately it was a clean fight for Team Esports Arena. Like I said, you gotta always be worried about that backside when you're playing the platform. Teams from Tree have such a good vantage point onto that platform, as Wingman Season have moved their way on down, continuing to watch their back. It does seem like there's a team behind them, as putting a lot of attention here. Maybe they're just waiting for it to back out. 10 more seconds, the ring will finish up closing, and this is not a ring that you want to be eating damage from. The big question is, how is Wingman Season going to respond to Team Liquid, keeping them from that high ground? They do have, of course, that Valkyrie deployed to use. Exit just used one of their own to get inside of Tree, and Team Liquid end up getting the ring pull going over towards them. Exit with the reset are trying to slide out, but a lot of teams are working their way in from the eastern side. Esports Arena is one of them, and they're picking up more and more kills. Exit now just down to Kenny here, and Esports Arena have been basically matching Xset, and so now with knocking Xset out, they have clearly the kill leads in the lobby currently.
I'm terrified for everybody in this lobby right now with the way Esports Arena is playing. Skittlecakes with that devotion, the flatline in the back pocket. You have Noct, who's rocking the flatline as well. The R301 from Duplex is looking on point. See if this Nox gas grenade does anything. He's eating a lot of damage over towards the side. Great bubble coming in from Duplex. Lots of medkits though too. Very rarely see someone rock 5 medkits, but now ESA is on the run. It doesn't look like they're being focused quite yet with any defensive bombardments or nades. What a great play getting on out of there as Nerf's adding the pressure.
Yeah, Nerf playing off the truck position here from the high ground was trying to find anything. Now they do spot out Esports Arena huddled behind that, but you can see the great damage coming out. Force seeing Force immediately back. He knows that he cannot challenge that on his ones. They need to go for the reset here, and they also need to figure out how they're going to move up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 teams currently collapsed on the eastern side of this zone. Nerf are going to try and skip past everyone by hugging the south side. They are getting challenged by Vizio throughout all of this. And that's allowing Esports Arena now to start kind of tailing behind them. They have to watch their back or the third party will be so quick. Vizio playing off from that triangle here, trying to keep Nerf at bay. Airburst nade out from Scissors. We'll see another one coming in if he gets a big connect. Oh! Does not get the armor crack, but he does dish out a lot of damage to peek out from the left-hand side. Scissors now watching the right, and what a prediction as he holds that angle, but it's a full push out from Force as he gets that first knock onto Scissors. Damage traded back as Fury is the only one that's able to trade back, and that just means Esports Arena is probably going to come in for the third party here right behind them as Fury does secure the last kill. That's actually going to be Wave. Davis Wave coming in for that one as a third party, but Vizio ultimately goes down. Here's Esports Arena getting a free rotate in thanks to that combat.
Wow, I can't believe that Nerf was able to put that much damage down over towards the side, but they got cleaned up fairly quickly as Vizio now ends up going out in 9th place. This looks like ESA's game. I mean, the way that they've been able to maneuver this entire time, knock with the car again, continue to put in damage with this gold mag. R301 on the Gibby is just so strong in Duplex's hands. I'm shocked they don't have even more kills, but there is still 7 full squads remaining here as Skittlecake still is rocking the gold mag, the devotion with the turbocharger. Their kit is just so strong right now, Jamerson.
And for Team Liquid, they were able to pick up a full team fight win as well up against Nestle Splash. That brings us down to 6 squads now. Big question is, how much of this high ground is still in for Team Liquid? Is it going to be playable just above that tunnel exit? They're going to be heading on over there, and it looks like they will be safe up here. So this is going to be a great passive position going into ring number 6, as it looks like Elevate make their push onto Esports Arena, but Kimchi Lee ends up coming in to steal away one of those kills. But now Esports Arena still maintaining control over the triangle. A lot of it is in on those railways there, as you can see, so they'll be able to play off of those blue boxes at the very least.
You can see again where Fury has been set up. They were anticipating this type of zone pull here, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Wingman Season and Team Liquid staggered how the way that they are, because you know if you end up having to eventually drop, the team down below is going to focus you, and you have all of these teams that are trying to add pressure. So right now, if you're Team Liquid, you're basically hoping that someone makes a mistake and runs out in the open, but that's ESA that we're talking about. They're not going to make any major mistakes. Right now, Tech seems to be the only one that's poking out. He ends up getting back inside, as you also see Elevate being eliminated by ESA, who's just continuing their tear and their run. It's wild that Team Liquid decides that they don't want to really pressure this area, because when you're holding this area top tree, that is the one spot that you don't want to be worried about. They could have 6 players focusing on them right now, and they've just been running around for free over here.
Now, Esports Arena need to maintain control over these railings here, or like you said, Team Liquid could go for that skyward dive to just go ahead and take this. And just go ahead and drop on top of the leaf. They call it a tree, but it's just one big leaf. You can drop on that leaf and then wait it out and go for OOB. But it looks like right now Fury getting pushed. Kimchi Lee has already gone down, cruising last one up. But Skittle Cakes will be able to steal that kill away. This is a monstrous game now for Esports Arena. They have already been well clear within the double digits range for kills. They have to be near 15 at this point. The defensive bombardment going down. Well, they've got a Watson generator in there. It doesn't stop the gas, but they will be able to back away at the very least and try to get them passive heals. Push out from Esports Arena, and they have no cares in the world. They're hoping the other 2 teams fight, and that should be what's taking place, as Liquid should be dropping down onto Wingman Season here, but they have traded. It looks like, no, not quite yet. No one's gone down on the Liquid side. They need to reset. It's the final 2v2. Team Liquid versus Esports Arena.
Look how good Esports Arena is. They are not messing around. They knew, Jamerson, just like you were talking about, both those teams that were coexisting on the high ground beneath the train tunnel had the fight, and they cleaned up almost every single team in that lobby. They may have not gotten the...
And really no better way to close it out there than a look at Team Esports Arena. A 22-kill game for them there. And, of course, it was signs of what was to come with the squad that went on to do incredibly well in the ALGS playoffs. They now are going to be competing at Champs this weekend. Of course, they are now competing for Optic Gaming. But the future so bright for that squad, and seeing Duplex and Skittle and, of course, Verhost as well getting their start here in Series E, and it's so cool to see how much of those players have grown, changed, and improved over the last year and change, and they're just going to be looking so good this weekend, and we're certainly rooting for all of them from here at Esports Arena headquarters in Irvine. So that is going to do it for us, though, tonight, folks. Again, do want to remind you, if you're going out to Raleigh, whether you're a spectator, a player, working with one of these orgs, we wish you a safe and fun trip. Best of luck to all the players, especially to our current and former Series E pros. We wish them the best of luck in their competition this weekend. Represent NA well. And that's going to do it for us tonight. Do want to remind you, we've got something special going on tomorrow night. We've got some awesome announcements for you. Also, don't miss out on that. We'll be right back here tomorrow afternoon, so make sure you do not miss out on that. And we've got Guilty Gear going on Thursday. Plenty more action on that front. So don't miss out on more Series E stuff going on this week. Make sure to tune in right here at twitch.tv/esports arena. But that's going to do it for me, folks. Thanks so much for coming to hang out and checking out some of the greatest games of all time here in Series E. We will see you all later.